Okay, welcome, one and all, to yet another episode of WIC TV, cross-ideological space where we come together to talk about issues both political and cultural, from the silly to the serious. And gang, have we got a show for you tonight? Okay, uh, over the weekend, President Trump made a tweet where he quoted Napoleon, where he says this: "A man who saves his country violates no law." This has had quite the response from a wide variety of people, some calling it irresponsible rhetoric, some saying that it is more sinister, and still others saying it's not a big deal. Tonight, we're going to talk about it. What does it mean in this context? What did he mean in this context, if anything? And what, if anything, should be done about it? We're going to start with Soy Pill. Thanks for being here, Soy Pill. Give us what you got.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Wick. I'm the Soy Pill. I make videos on YouTube. I think Trump's tweet is, in complete isolation, no matter what, a dangerous statement to be made by the president. No one has unilateral domain over what serving your country is, and if they did, they would be king, and any and all things they determined to be for the common good would be legal. Now, it's not in complete isolation. This is in context of unprecedented power grabs by the executive branch, where Trump is trying to subvert congressional power, of delegating funds, making spurious arguments to change the Constitution through executive orders, and ignoring court orders by federal judges, as proposed by J.D. Vance and Project 2025. Now, one of my opponents, Rob Noerr, has characterized this as Trump's mean tweet, which I want to make very clear, if true, would not be something that I was so up in arms about, because anyone who watches my stuff knows I actually like mean Trump. I think he's very funny. I like it when he puts Rosie O'Donnell on the spot. I like when he says only fat people drink Diet Coke, but I don't love when he puts out statements alluding to his erosion of the checks and balances of our democracy. Now, last night, Rob told me that no matter what Biden corruption happened in his eyes, it does not justify the actions of Trump if they are unconstitutional. So I hope, not optimistically, but by the end of this debate, I can get Rob to agree that what Trump is doing is unconstitutional, or at least get him to admit that because of his grievances with the Biden administration, he would be okay with Trump doing pretty much anything now in retaliation. I at least want to make it, but last thing, I want to make it abundantly clear to everyone watching that regardless of political alignment, you should be upset by what the president is saying, unless you do want a single all-powerful king as the replacement for our democracy. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, I'm going to try to cut people off at about a minute. Okay, so we all agreed to this like right before the show, like 30 seconds before we went live. So let's try. I'll try to enforce it. Audacity, give us what you got. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you. But yeah, Audacity, go ahead.
Yeah, of course, it's a poorly timed tweet with everything going on. But I'm not going to hold account to him tweeting out something. It's essentially innocuous. He fucking found a quote or something. I really like that quote, and then he tweeted it out, and now it's like it's everybody's bread and butter this morning is fucking talking about it. I've seen constant tweet arguments back and forth online. Hey, conservatives, justify this, and it's justify what? Justify what? This is a tweet. We can talk about actions. We can talk about the things the president's currently doing. We can talk about him violating TROs or whatever. We can talk about the whole judicial process going on around that and everything. But it's not a policy position. It's not an action. It's just a tweet. It's whatever dumbass thought he had when he tweeted it out. He tweeted it out, and that's now I guess what he was thinking at the time. He probably doesn't even fucking remember tweeting it at this point. So I'm not really like. This isn't something that I feel everybody should be losing their minds over. This shouldn't be something that's generating so many spurious challenges against conservatives and MAGA to go on about. So it's just not pertinent.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for being here, Audacity. Really appreciate you. We'll see where we go from here. Staxiums, you're up.
Hello. So I'm not familiar with our other conservative opponent, but I am pretty familiar with Rob Noerr. So I just want to, before he shares his opening statements, I'll do it for him. So I will give his three main opening statements. He will talk about systemic issues Dems did that we also think is bad. 2, things that Dems did that was not against the law. And 3, random gish galloping and whataboutism about FISA warrants and Burisma. Anything but a basic awareness for the assault on the Constitution that Trump conducted. Yeah, but go ahead, Rob. Take it away.
Is that your opening statement? Okay.
That is my opening statement.
Good choice. Rob, go ahead.
Staxium got all of that as he whacks it, listening to me on a daily basis, because he has to listen to someone with talent because none of you fucking lefties have any. So I'm glad you listened to Staxium. Soy Pill's the only reason that I'm willing to engage in this debate with good faith until I hear more from Staxium, which is most of the people on the left that want to talk about this had no problem with the corruption that we saw over and over again from Democrats. They were fine with the lawfare. They're fine with all of the things that would be corrupt, up to and including FISA warrants that were illegal, which of course Staxiums won't care about. He'll think that that's just a joke. But Trump's mean tweets and wanting to fight against the bureaucratic state of unelected officials that actually run the government, that's a bridge too far. That's a threat to our democracy. Much like Democrats do this all the time. They cared about kids in cages under Trump when there were 3 times more under Biden. They didn't give a shit. This is always the game they play. Now they're going to clutch their pearls over Trump's mean tweets and the fact that he froze funding for like 11 days, and now that's been reinstituted, because the truth is they're okay with the corruption of the bureaucratic state. They don't want legitimate democracy, just like they were happy with lying about Joe Biden's cognitive decline, like Wick here, and then gnashing their teeth when we pointed out correctly that it wasn't a democratic process that removed Joe Biden and installed people that were really running the show behind him to pick Kamala Harris, who was a joke. The American people know that these people are a joke. We'll talk about the far greater corruption that the Democrats did that most of the people don't give a shit about, and I'll give my thoughts that I don't really like this tweet from Trump.
Okay, well, with that, let's start. The floor is open.
Cool.
You guys, again, if you have trouble getting in, just
Could I-
pass it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Great.
please.
Could I don't know how to address the my other conservative opponent. Could I get your
Audacity. His name's Audacity.
Oh, Audacity. I apologize.
Yeah,
Audacity. So yeah, no, you're good. It says couldn't think of a new name on your Discord, so cool.
Yeah, I got admin in the Wickord.
I see. All right. Audacity.
Now, but
So can I-
continue. Yeah.
I'd love to respond to something that you said, basically that he has already forgot about it and then it's kind of contextless. It's kind of just like a tweet. I do want to say that he not only tweeted this, he also doubled down on this on Truth Social. I can pull up the details if you're not familiar with it, but Newswire posted, I guess, on Truth Social, judge rules Trump admin defying court order to release billions in grants. And then Donald Trump posted again this quote, he who saves his country violates no law, with the background of Napoleon on it. So it doesn't seem like he's forgotten about it. It seems like he's doubled down on it a little bit. And policy-wise, he is referring to very specifically defying court orders. Do you feel like that might change your statement, or do you still stand by what you said?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely evidence that he's doubling down on it if you want to present it that way. But in terms of actual effort that he's putting forward for whatever his policy position is, it doesn't convince me, because we know he's currently in action right now with courts. He's currently in action right now with combating the adversarial proponents that are coming after him for the decisions that he's making. Now, let me also kind of rectify, I'm not necessarily a full conservative. I'm a registered independent, but I still see this as not something indicative of any action he's planning to take. He's not going to full on violate court orders outside. Oh, Jesus. He's not going to full on violate court orders. He's going to go through the legal process of challenging what's coming.
So
down.
he wouldn't violate the law when he said, I'm not violating the law? He wouldn't violate the law? That's not what he's referring to?
Right.
In this statement, so you're saying in this statement, he who saves his country violates no law? He is not referring to violating the law?
Now,
Just to be super clear?
I can tell you what he's saying. He feels, correctly in my opinion, that there is law.
Rob, it was my question.
Well, okay, not really conservative. Go at it, Audacity. Have at it.
I mean, no, he's not violating the law. We are at a point where there is a challenge presented. It's not necessarily a violation of the law as we know yet, until a court or the appeals process goes through and says, hey, actually, you're violating law.
And do you think he's violating the law when he subverts the Impoundment Act, or when he fires attorney or inspector generals without giving the 30-day notice to Congress, or is that not violating the law?
In regards to the 30 days of firing inspector generals, I don't really have a lot of information on that. But as it comes to executive action, executive authority, and the way he exercises it, he has been met with challenges, and he seeks to meet those challenges. I don't think it's a violation of the law yet, unless it actually comes down to, hey, Trump, you actually don't have this authority, so you need to cut it out. And he's like, no, I'm going to do it anyway.
Well, that's what's happening. It's explicitly written. You have to give 30 days notice and substantive reasoning to fire these inspector generals, which he did not do. And with the Impoundment Act, he has to do some sort of statement through Congress to notify them about what funds he is freezing and for how long, which he also didn't do, which are both violations of the law. So even out of context, context, I'm surprised you would even defend the president of the United States saying, hey, I can do whatever I want because if what I want is what's good for the country, then it's not illegal. But then if you're also taking into account the context of all of the court orders that he's trying to defy and the illegal acts that he's done, it's clear that he's doing this in response to people pushing back on his power grab.
Is the public position of him not talking about how he thinks this is fraud, waste, and abuse or anything like that not determinative of why he would fire or hold funds?
Wait, hold on. But that's not an excuse to break the law, right? Like if you disagree with the law, there is a process to do so. It's called appealing. You can appeal judge orders. You can appeal laws. There is a process to go through what you consider fraudulent or dangerous laws, and that doesn't mean openly breaking them while you do so. Otherwise, that's just blatant authoritarian.
Do you wonder why they just want to talk to you? Has that crossed your mind yet?
Yeah, because I don't know a lot.
Well, he's an easy
right.
Well, yeah,
Isn't that interesting?
Rob, go and defend it. We'll defend him.
Are you for real?
I'll have
if Audacity can't answer,
I only wish. No.
If he's such an easy target, why not you jump in with us and say, "Yeah, this guy's an idiot."
I just tried, and he had a problem with it. Now, I wish that I could be talking to people that knew what they were talking about. Unfortunately, I'm stuck with you two fucking morons. So we'll give it a go anyways. So yeah, there are things that technically Trump's doing that's against the law as written. Though there's questions we have to say about what the law really is. For example, if we go to the Supreme Court decision, it seems that Trump can't be criminally charged for anything that he's doing in his official capacity, and all of these things would be certainly things that were done in official capacity. In addition, we could talk to people that have said this in the past that probably you have more an affinity for, like Thomas Jefferson, that's talking about how things that occur that we think are anathema to actually the saving of the country or the moral will of a higher power are things that would mean that we can't morally or culpably say you're violating that higher law if you're doing those things in good faith. Having said that, I don't like this tweet. I think that it is in bad spirit, and I'll fully concede that there are things that are written down that are supposed laws, such as you have to give 30 days before you fire these people, that it would seem that the Trump administration did violate. These things are things that will be questioned as to whether or not they're legal anyways, and many of them I think will be overturned by the Supreme Court if they get there. It's clear that these are being issued for lawfare reasons, and the Democrats on this panel would have said almost nothing when it came to the far more severe corruption that we've seen from presidents, not just Democrats, by the way, Republicans, such as the illegal wars that Congress is supposed to declare war, but we see like the invasion of Iraq and Libya and other, let me finish, other places that those more serious violations of the Constitution that actually led to serious loss of lives, including of American citizens. And most people won't have as much to say about that, or they'll defend the people that did that, like George W. Bush, Barack Obama, etc. But they'll gnash their teeth about, but it's so illegal that Trump fired people 30 days early. It's so illegal that he froze funds for 11 days or 15 days or whatever it was before a court decided that, hey, you can't do that. And now we're at the injunction phase of it.
Well, real quick, I wanted to jump in. Rob, you did call me a fucking moron. And I just want to point out, I do appreciate that in your intro, you mentioned me. And the reason why you're willing to have this is because in good faith, I called out Biden corruption. Although I want to come clean as good faith. Just for context for everyone, I asked Rob in response to the tweet, he had a little thing saying, hey, don't give them this, don't say this is bad because they ignored Biden corruption. I asked him, and it seems like you agree with this, if this was in isolation, if we're ignoring the Biden corruption, or if we even just say all of it's true, just verbatim, you would still have a problem with the president doing this sort of stuff, correct? Like that was not a mischaracterization of what you said?
I believe, I can't remember exactly what I said to you, but I believe I made a point about how every president in my lifetime has violated the Constitution and there are levels to it. Right. It would be my preference, and it's worth criticizing anytime any elected official up to and including the president does do something that I think is against the Constitution. I think there is merit in that. There's obviously a severity scale in it.
Specific, but a president saying whatever I do, if it's for the good of the country, is not illegal. I think you kind of said, like you're kind of saying it now. Illegal. Yeah, it's not something you necessarily would agree with. You probably have a big problem with Biden did it, right? Or just if anyone did this. But I have to act. Well, I just want to get a yes or no on that.
Let me clarify. Let me clarify your question.
Okay.
You're saying it's Trump just saying this isn't illegal, but I don't like it, and I probably wouldn't like it if Biden said something like that.
If a person, I'm just saying, just on the very base level, person saying I'm okay with whatever I deem is okay for the country is not illegal, no matter what the law is probably something you wouldn't agree with in general.
That's true. I wouldn't like that if Trump said it, Biden said
Okay.
it, Obama said it.
That's
Bush
all
said
I
it.
wanted to do with my question.
Yeah.
You hadn't answered it until I showed my hypocrisy. I just want to point out the tweet, the screenshot that I provided you is completely fabricated. If you look at it, the views are 7, the likes are 23. I just edited it so you would answer my question. So
Okay,
if
so
you're
then I
only
will
here
say this.
for good faith,
I
I
will
want you to
say
let you know I
I'm
totally
out.
deceived you. Yeah.
So then I'm out. I'm out of this panel then. Fuck you. I'm serious. Either you're gone or I'm gone. Like, it's up to you. I'm serious.
I have no idea what just happened.
I agreed to do this. I agreed to have this good faith discussion with him because he sent me a tweet that supposedly said that he was calling out corruption from Biden. He's not. So I'm not dealing with this panel other than to insult this fucking idiot the whole time. So it's either me or him, or you just let me completely eschew the topic and insult this asshole.
Or we could have the discussion.
No.
Well, Rob, if it'll get you to stay, if it'll get you to stay, wait, hold on, wait, quick. If it'll get Rob to stay, if it'll get Rob to stay, hold on, let me. I think that Biden.
Rob, it's
I'm
up
not
to you.
listening
You
to
can
a
throw a
fucking
fit,
word that
or
this
you
guy
can have a
says.
discussion.
I am not listening to a fucking word this guy says, period. He's muted on my end. I can't hear him. You can point to me when it's my turn to talk, and I'll talk. But I'm not going to respond to someone that lied about that to come into here. I'm not doing it.
Can you someone show me what he said?
Yeah.
So
I got
that's
you,
what
I
he's
got you.
referring to.
I'm looking at
I'll
right
tell you
now.
exactly what. I'm uninterested in having a conversation with people demanding that I call out Trump's mean tweet, who supported the corruption done against Trump, including up to and including actual admission of illegal FISA warrants. Soy Pill sent me a message.
Like one of those people in the DGG who don't care about what Destiny did because
No, Wick. I'm
exactly the same. Gotcha.
No, Wick. I'm not like the DGG people. I'm not like the people like you. No. I appreciate. Listen, I appreciate
same argument.
I appreciate
Other
your
people have done it worse.
Wick,
so you know what?
Wick.
It's okay when we do this.
Wick, please. I know you're just a DGG dick suck. You have no talent. Progressive Victory Pack.
Jesus Christ,
Hey,
man.
you have no talent. You have no talent other than getting shit pushed by Progressive Victory.
Because you're an un-American.
I understand the need to filibuster as you always do as a host. I can talk over you. Don't give a fuck. You can call me a traitor all you want. You are a destiny orbiting dick suck who got paid by Progressive Victory Pack, and they gave you an audience as limited as it is because you are fucking shit. You're incapable of doing these things on your own, and so now you have to constantly filibuster and talk over people when they come onto your panels because you're fucking worthless. You can't even moderate a debate. You constantly bring guests on that are bad faith and shit that can't defend their positions, and so you feel the need to debate for them, just like when you had to try to cover for Conboy and Brianna Wu the last time we were on. You're someone who's literally a sack of shit who can't actually have this show and that wants to talk over people because you can't allow people that are actually able to make these points have a voice. You can't. So,
you will let Trump rape you. Okay. You will let Trump rape you. Okay? As long as Daddy, right, gives you what you want. So, Rob, and Rob, I know you're going to listen to this later. Fuck you. You are un-American. You are a traitor to this country. You have violated this Constitution. And you have no place talking about morals, ethics, or anything because you do not live up to your values. And in fact, you are a hypocrite and a liar. That's what I will say.
Wick,
that's what you get. You can come on here and argue and throw a fit. No, let me finish. Throw a fit, a literal fit, because, someone made a tweet and he misrepresented that tweet. And yet you come here and misrepresent the facts constantly on my show. Constantly. And everyone can see it. Everyone knows this is true. I come and I want your opinion. I want your perspective. But if you can't have the same manner, if you can't take it, get the fuck out of the kitchen. You're a weak baby ass bitch. That's it. Okay.
Wick, just cool. So for anyone who doesn't understand, can I while you find your backup, do you mind if I screen share?
Does Rob throw a lot of sissy fits? Is that a common thing? Do we have to prepare for that kind of stuff?
Can I screen share and kind of show like what the context of this was?
Please do it.
Okay, sure. So let me see if I can just pull this up right here. Okay, so I I don't know if you guys can see.
I didn't even know.
Stream.
Like I had no idea this tweet happened or anything. Okay?
So yeah, no.
So
everything I said, I mean, it's all true. Okay, so what happened was Josiah, Pondering Politics, said, hey, look, this Trump tweet's insane. Hey, calling out conservative lawyers, what do you think about this? Lactoid, as some of you might know from the WIC panel, said, hey, like, yeah, I do think this isn't really good. I don't like this statement, you know. And Rob said, don't give them this. They all cheered on the real corruption and lawfare against Trump. Now they clutch their pearls about a tweet Trump makes, essentially saying, don't even like concede that this is bad, even though it seems like he would think it's bad. Now I said, even if you think all of this is true, does the president ignoring the Constitution not give you any pause? This was a good faith question. Now, Trump said, if you're not criticizing Biden, show me your posts calling out the corruption against Trump and his allies, and I will answer you. And I posed the question, I tried to rephrase it like it's, look, it doesn't matter about that. Does your perceived corruption of the Biden administration mean you'll be okay with any and all things unconstitutional from Trump? He copy-pasted the same thing, saying, show me your calling out of Biden. So I fabricated a tweet. I just wrote this.
Okay, so that's all you did?
Yeah, I fabricated a tweet so that he would answer my question.
Oh,
You'll notice
enough.
there are only 7 views on it because it's just a screenshot of the above tweet when it had 7 views. I added fake likes and I said, Biden going after Trump for falsifying business records is nothing short of lawfare and an attempt to remove his political opponent that he knows he can't beat. We're better than this. It's totally made up. I've never said this and I don't believe it, but it got Rob to answer my question, which I appreciated from him. Now, I was this close to revealing this to Rob last night.
Got the result you wanted, baby.
But I didn't know you'd freak this much about it, and I'm glad I waited, because what a fucking baby, what a bad faith little shit. He wouldn't answer my question, no matter what it has to do with Biden.
I mean, look, this was valuable, though. This was valuable, and I think the audience can see, and I think his audience can see, he just doesn't have values. His value is power, right? His value is power, and as long as
his value is Dems bad,
he does not care. Trump could literally tear up the Constitution, disband the courts, disband Congress. As long as Trump does what Rob thinks is right or wants, he does not care. He does not care about this country.
But do you remember when Biden gave a speech in front of a red light?
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, we got to replace it because, again, I knew this was going to happen. I called it. I prepared for this because Rob is a little bitch. And anytime anyone can stand up against him, he bitches out. So that's what. Thank you for being my backup. I really appreciate you. Sure. Welcome to the show.
I almost didn't tell him, but he called me a moron, so I was like, well, Rob, you know what looks really stupid?
He can't take it. He can't take it. He's the weakest, softest little shit I've ever, and I've seen a lot of soft shits, okay?
No one who knows how to trim their beard line that well is a fucking moron. So
anyways,
I'll give you that.
Thank you.
Sure. Hope you guys don't mind. I'm not on my camera or anything set up right now, so
that's fine.
I was expecting to actually show.
I understand.
And I do want to say that you have been good faith so far in this very short discussion, and like I haven't pulled any fast ones on you, and I'm open to having the conversation. And if I don't know something, and it's like if you want to defer, I'm totally cool with that. Like, let's just have a conversation. So
no, I don't expect to pull fast ones on me. My main topic, my main aggression towards it, not aggression, Jesus Christ, but my main focus on this is just like, this is, as was just brought up, the red light Biden speech. You know, this is that innocuous that it doesn't actually.
Wait, are you for real?
Wait, you think it's the same?
I think
having a red light in the back
there is the same level of centralization over this. I'm sorry. Okay. The legal challenges have been brought up and the system is functioning.
No, wait, but he's talking about defying court orders, and fucking Biden under a red light was saying, hey, look, I actually really love a lot of Republicans. Republicans are very friends. I've worked for them my whole life. I think that there's an insidious, there's a section of them that have become insidious, and I don't like it. That is the same as defying court orders and saying, I'm not violating
on top of all the other times fucking moderates and moderate Republicans and people who don't really have a party of everything were also disparaged for also voting for Trump. Yes, they're all MAGA, they're all terrorists, they all hate America, they hate the Constitution.
Are you for real? Is that what you got out of that?
I'm sorry, but if we're going to talk about violating court orders, there is a plethora of material out there where it's on the other side as well. We're not going to pretend there isn't. They're just like fucking on the Jon Stewart podcast.
I want to hear this. Can you name one? I actually don't know one. Can you name one? Like, because I haven't looked too much into it. Unironically, like, can you name one of these on the Democrat side?
Yeah, the violation of Biden putting out student loan forgiveness.
No way! Whoa, no.
Yes, way. Don't act like it's not a violation of court order.
You for real? Okay, here's what happened.
You can't do this, so then he does that. He finds other avenues in which to navigate his authority. No
one said he couldn't forgive student loans. They said he couldn't forgive student loans in that particular way with that wide breadth of activities. And he went a different route that the Supreme Court did not ban.
And it also got challenged again. It was never resolved. It got challenged by some fucking federal judge in Nebraska or something. It was never resolved.
Well, I don't know.
On
what
top
you're
of that,
to.
yeah.
See, but you don't know either. Just send me a link and then we can. Look at it
I have
together.
to find it. But yes,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
Yeah, but
in my
Audacity,
history.
I think we're trying to explain the difference between Trump saying, I'm going to do this with federal funds that is not within my power as the executive. Congress, or sorry, a judge saying, no, you can't do this. This federal freeze is not within the laws of what you're allowed to do. And him saying, I'm going to do it anyway. I will not unfreeze these funds. Versus Joe Biden saying, I want to pass this, student loan forgiveness. Supreme Court saying that's unconstitutional. And him saying, okay, I'm not going to try that again, but I will try other avenues, which is a completely, I think, different thing. There's a very big distinction there.
Yeah,
he didn't defy court orders.
And also, wait, so in terms of defying court orders, their position, they're arguing that they are in following the court order. So if they came out and said, we will not obey the court, so if their motion or Spence said, you know what, we're not going to obey court orders, we don't listen to you guys anymore, and they signed that affidavit and everything, then I'd be on your side. But the problem is they're saying that they are, and they made an argument as to what they asked for clarifications. And so it's the idea of them saying, Trump's coming out saying he won't follow court orders, then why are they unfreezing funds? If they're not going to, if they're going to defy it, why are they unfreezing things?
I'm confused. They're not.
I don't know. I don't understand what you're saying.
They're going against.
Is there another court order?
There's a court order to unfreeze the EPA funds, and they're not following it. They're just saying no. And let's be clear. This is in context of J.D. Vance saying we should defy court orders and say, hey, the executive judicial has said what he's going to want or said what he wants to do. I can read the quote specifically. And Project 2025 saying up to this election, hey, we're going to defy court orders. We have to get power away from the legislative branch. So this is, or judicial branch, excuse me. This is kind of their MO. So I don't know if you're not seeing that they want to do this, or if you're just saying they're not doing it as bad as they could be, but it's clearly happening.
I'm saying what you say in a tweet means very little versus what you'll actually sign and send to a
court. Okay,
but
sure.
Out of context.
But you're holding the tweets at a higher level than the court.
No, they're compatible with each other. First off, aesthetics matter a little bit, okay? Can we agree that, you saying aggressively authoritarian things to rile up your base is probably not good, although policy also matters. These work in conjunction with each other. And secondly, he is defying court orders and then saying, I'm mandated to because I'm saving the country. I think that that's ridiculous.
Show me court filings where he says, we will not abide by this order. Show me something that filed.
Because I'm saving the country.
Just so we're clear, from his response to the brief, he goes, defendant agencies have worked diligently to assure compliance, including by conferring with plaintiff's counsel about specific compliance concerns they have raised. To the extent that the court concludes otherwise, defendants have no objection to the court clarifying the intended scope of its temporary restraining order. And then the judge did the whole thing. Have you guys gone through all the exhibits of what the actual agencies are saying is happening?
I have gone through them at some point. I'm bringing up the EPA one right now.
So just offhand, because once I've been going through, I've only gone through 18 through 73. It's a lot of these are either not frozen and never frozen. Some of them, there seems to be two issues regarding, there's two main payment systems, PMS and ASAP. And that there's different issues being faced with both PMS and ASAP in regards to unfreezing them. So watching them, so certain state, they all seem to be going by state. And I'm watching I can see the dates where it goes, okay, this one was unfrozen at this date. This one they had to email and then they got it done.
Wait, so is your argument that at some point all of this is going to be unfrozen despite the court order telling them to do it now, so it's not a bad thing that they're currently not doing?
What do you mean? So when you say do it now, so
when the court says you can't do this, stop, and they say no.
Press the magic button.
They didn't press the magic button. They pressed the magic button to freeze it. They did it with a memo. They just put out a memo and said, we're freezing everything, which is not how it's done. It's done through the Impoundment Act.
The memo isn't the issue, though. It's what was happened within PMS and ASAP. Specifically in ASAP, a lot of the grants got fucking deleted. So normally there's supposed to be a list of so say some of them were we had 9 grants granted, and now suddenly 5 of them are missing. So it's they unfroze 4, at which point you have to re-add the 5. So it's a technical issue of going, okay, so we have to do this by, I think some of them have to be done by hand to reinsert those.
So
but some of them also
the claim
got marked
is
as
that the process for unfreezing is the only thing preventing them from unfreezing any of all frozen funds that are currently being told to be unfrozen by a judge. That's the claim?
Yes.
Okay, I have no idea if that's true. That might be true, but I have not seen a single shred of evidence that is the reason this stuff is not being unfrozen.
Well, no, there's also dispute because remember, they're only supposed to be unfreezing funds that were frozen due to the actual memo. If there's other reasons to actually stop or put stop work orders and things like that, those should all be free to go.
Okay, wait, hold on. I feel like we're going down a little bit of a rabbit hole. Let's say let's say you're right. Okay, let's say that he's fully complying with court orders. He's just unable to unfreeze this all. That's right. That's what you're claiming, right?
Over time, that is being unfrozen over time. At least from what I can read
Sure.
from the affidavits.
Sure. Why would he tweet something like this?
I have no idea. Again,
because he's an asshole. Because he's an asshole.
Just
because.
Like, let's ignore the court. Let's ignore all the court filings and what they're actually doing in law. Let's talk about like what's really more important is his tweet. I'm like, you're right. If you
do you think he just tweets random things? Do you think he's just like a monkey on a typewriter? It's completely out of context. Because if you do, then I can't argue with you. But this is clearly in context of everything he's been doing up until this point.
Sure.
Like, I don't know if you're just like really naive or it's like, oh no, this Twitter Trump is a completely different person.
Court filings, yes. So we do hold tweets above them. So
I'm not using this tweet as evidence. This tweet is a jumping off point for a conversation about what Trump is doing.
Yeah. So if he go ahead.
I'm not saying that this tweet is above policy. Okay, we're living in the hypothetical that Trump did not ignore Trump judge orders, which is something that is a new hypothetical for us to entertain. Now we have a new question, which is what the fuck is this tweet then? So in our real world, not ignoring the hypothetical, the Trump does defy court orders. So we're putting policy over tweets. We're saying in your hypothetical, what does this tweet mean?
What?
So
just for clear, so in terms of defying court orders, you understand that, like the number of times people like are not in compliance with court orders is pretty common, especially if they have disputes over what compliance actually entails. This isn't like some rarity thing. So the idea of him if he's actively defying it, then I'd agree with you.
Exactly. That's what the tweet signals is active defiance, not passive, not as in like, oh, well, I just disagree with you. And maybe we could talk about the nuances here. Maybe in the way like, oh, we accidentally didn't follow court orders and maybe we need a little bit more guidance on how to do so. This is signaling that I would like to violate the law.
Well,
in order to save the country.
Wait, can I just add one thing?
Because it's
signaling morality. It's not signaling an actual action.
One at a time. Let him finish. And then we'll go to...
I just want to add, like, even if this tweet didn't exist, because this is very, very recent, like, we were talking about this prior to this, about him defying these court orders. And, like, if I were to bring up, like, the J.D. Vance quote about defying court orders, if I were to bring up the Project 2025 plan about defying court orders, is that not relevant to you? Do you not think that they're trying to follow such a plan? And just because there's, like, what is the criteria for whether or not the order is being like, because it seems to me like you're saying, well, each and every one of these has an active sort of reason why they're doing it, and it will eventually not be unfollowed. They will follow these. So therefore,
if the Supreme, can I ask you just, if this goes to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court says that the judge was wrong for even issuing the order, will you guys completely flip your position and say
no?
It was
because he didn't comply it while it was illegal. That's the difference. He can obviously,
if they find he was in compliance, they say the judge was wrong in two. So if the Supreme Court says not only was that the judge was wrong, he was working on it, the judge shouldn't have even said he wasn't in compliance, will you guys completely flip your position on not? You won't even read the document, just say, let's say they hold that holding. You completely flip, yes?
Wait, no, I don't think so, because let me make sure I understand the hypothetical. Okay, you're saying that the Supreme Court rules that judge was out of line. Okay, you still need to follow that judge while you go through the appeals process, and that judge said that you are violating the law. So you need.
He was wrong on that too, because they were in compliance. They said that you would completely flip.
Yeah, in this hypothetical world where the Supreme Court says everything that Trump does is okay, which is kind of what they've already done with the immunity case, I still probably wouldn't, because of these kind of insane rulings that they've made. So if you want to ask if I like to respect,
the rulings don't matter. Great.
Well, no, I just think the Supreme Court is kind of compromised at this point, but that's a whole other conversation. Wait.
No, you're saying in the hypothetical, he has been complying with the law this whole time.
I'm saying so they're saying that like he was in process of complying, and therefore this was an unnecessary ruling. So that he was like saying that there were legitimate reasons for PMS and ASAP to be doing with it, to be working with, and therefore he was in compliance, and therefore they are all unfrozen. Does that resolve everything?
Okay, what it now turns into is Donald Trump is a fucking monkey with a machine gun who tweets random shit that doesn't mean anything just to piss the country off, and that is also frightening. I would pivot to that argument.
Paying attention
he was legal. I don't know. What does that mean?
How you want to interpret?
He's been doing this kind of shit forever.
Who, Donald Trump?
Yeah.
So
I'm aware. You think I'm not aware that Donald Trump is a crazy monkey with a machine gun? I'm saying, look. Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta calm down. All right, look.
Look,
We're not enemies. We're not enemies. I'll buy you a beer. I'll buy you a beer after.
Okay? No matter what you do, your crash out ain't gonna be as bad. As
True.
Go ahead.
You need to grab the helmet again.
Look,
If you
here's
wanna
what I'm
get
saying.
Brett, sure, go ahead.
Here's what I'm saying. Okay, there's two different options for Donald Trump. Either,
Yep.
well, I mean, this isn't a binary, okay, but we can either live in the world where Trump knows what the fuck he's doing and can implement crazy policies that bring the America back to the Stone Ages, or the second one where he has no idea what the fuck he's doing. He says random shit that doesn't mean anything, that is basically just to piss people off, just to piss people off. I have been leaning towards the first during his second administration. I do think he's a lot more targeted. If you're saying that he tweets this for no reason, and actually this has no implication for his entire process, and he's doing this just to freak people out, I would say that's also scary, but just in a different way.
Sure, that's not my position. So I would say that I don't. In terms of like what he meant by that tweet, I can interpret it as benign as I want, or I can interpret it as
interpret the
benign.
benign. Okay, interpret the benign.
Sure.
Let's hear the benign.
interpretation.
The idea of saying like, so he who does not, was it like he who saves the country?
He who saves his
breaks
country
the law?
violates the law. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the most benign, so we already have this in law to some extent. So from one is for safety laws. So without any rules, if you are acting safely, but you act in violation of a safety law, you didn't violate the rule. So the thing is, he who acts safely is never in violation of a safety law, because the safety law can never demand you that you take an action unsafe.
Wait.
So in that specific
Not
example,
for
are
a
you going to
president.
extrapolate that? The
You think
president
a
and
president
every
can?
action taken by the
Yeah,
president.
I'm
Like,
I'm
I
starting
don't
at the
think-
bottom. I'm starting bottom level.
okay, well, this
Sure.
is silly. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then saying, so we move up. So let's go to the most horrific thing that we've actually, let's go with the top end. The Japanese internment camps. It was decided that that the Supreme Court ruled that we were allowed to basically strip people of life, liberty, and property without due process, and all because they were 1/16 Japanese, because, well, I mean, it was important. That goes, anything that can survive the strictest of scrutiny, saying that if it's narrowly tailored to enact a severe, like an important enough public policy, you can basically do whatever the fuck you want.
Right, and you
Of
disagree
course.
with that. I'm
Wait, hold on.
assuming, right?
Hold on. I would say
Still,
that
unfortunately, good law. It's
I would say
horrifying.
it's immoral, but not
Yep.
illegal. It would obviously be legal. You know why? Because the Supreme Court determines constitutionality.
Yep.
The judicial system does,
Wait.
not the executive.
Wait, can we pause? I
agree.
just want to be clear. Are we arguing that if right now, yesterday, Trump had said, let's put all the Japanese people in internment camps, and the Supreme Court had ruled it constitutional law the same way that they did in 1940s, you'd say, well, I don't really like that, but this is fine. Is that...
No, I just notice how I started off with saying this is the most horrifying example of it. I gave you like
Right, but like you said, it was
saying
legal at the
good.
time. So...
Yeah, wrongly
not-
decided, in my opinion. One of
okay.
the most highly criticized cases. Unfortunately, it's good law, and it's
Right.
fucking horrifying that we did that. I mean, yeah. So in the same sense that technically the court can just, like the Supreme Court could just say, you know what, the Second Amendment actually makes us the president. And then you're like, okay, that doesn't make any... Do you just support it? He goes, it's the court's decision. He goes, what the fuck do we do?
Wait,
when
so
we
you're
get that
agreeing with what
situation?
I was saying earlier. If the Supreme Court says something completely ridiculous, like, hey, Trump, I
Yes.
know that you're
Yep.
defying this federal law. I'm not just going to say, well, the Supreme Court said it, therefore it's okay. I'm going to maybe have an issue
Yes.
with that.
I agree. Perfect. Yes.
Okay. So,
I completely agree with that.
But
The
now
idea
this
of
is
saying
more on
that
the
we need a
idea of
ruling.
like,
So when I see the judge saying they're in defiance of the court order, and then the court doesn't really explain why, and then I go through the exhibits and find countless examples of affidavits that were used to support that says he is not unfreezing us. Here's evidence of it. And the statement is an affidavit saying, not only were we not frozen, we were never frozen. And that's being used to prove that they are frozen.
okay,
And I'm
so
going,
I
that
don't know
kinda
which
scares- you
of
see,
these
like,
statements that could be true for this specific one. Is this true for
Sure.
all of them and all
Exhibit-
of the freezing? Is
here.
that what you're...
Exhibit 18, Exhibit 19, 22, 24, 25,
You could link me
26,
500 if there
27,
was
29, 30,
500,000 freezes. I don't know
Wait,
how many there
hold
are.
on.
I'm asking
Hold on.
you if
Hold on.
this
Hold
is
on.
the-
So you're...
It would have to be no.
You're-
Why would wait? You're saying that they're allowed to get some lies in? They're like you're allowed to lie a little bit.
If someone's
No.
claiming-
Wait, hold on.
No.
Can we
that's
turn
cool.
off the autistic part of our brains for 2 seconds
No.
and recognize that if someone tells Trump, "Hey, yo, I know we're saying that we violated I know the judge said that you violated the law, okay? But like, I think we're in the clear here. I actually don't think we violated any law at all." And then the judge calls up and goes, "Hey, you violated the law." Do you think that a fucking normal response would be he who saves his country violates no law? Or rather, I didn't fucking break the law?
I
No,
think a
you're right.
completely
Yours is
normal
hyperbolic as
response
fuck,
would be
and I'm
good
with
for
you.
the appeals
No, but
process.
like, can we use our thinking brains for 2 seconds and realize that the way that this is oriented is clearly saying, look, I might have technically broken the law, but it was good for me to do. I should have done that because it's going to save the country. Not, I actually didn't break the law even technically.
I can't extrapolate that much from that tweet, man.
Can
Why would
we
he say
look
it?
at words?
It's 6. Yeah, right. It's 6. No, the thing is, but you're giving me a paragraph going, so he tweeted these 6 words. I think this clearly means that when he's referring to this document, he means this, and he's talking about this one and what he should be able
It's
to
8
do.
words.
The Supreme Court and and the executive theory, like
What
we're
do you?
getting all
Yeah,
that
but again,
from-
you
Got
said
him.
we asked you. And I don't know if you've really answered this satisfactorily
Sure, go
to
ahead.
us, but what is the most benign interpretation of this? Like he was just reading
Most benign is
Napoleon, and then he was
technically-
like, I like this
unfortunately,
quote.
to our horrifying truth is he's correct in terms of saying if you can actually prove to people that you're taking an action to save the country, like the internment camps, you can actually win on those grounds.
Okay, but the question the question isn't can he get away with it, right? You understand that, right? It's not can
If
he
he
actually
convinces
get away
people,
with
yes.
this. The question is, right? The question is this something we should be concerned about? What should our reaction be to someone who says this in the context in which it was said?
Depending
That's
on what
the
they're going to want to
question.
do.
This is the most fucking ultimate good faith. Like genuinely
unfortunately.
debate professors would suck you off so dry for how good faith you're being towards the president of the United States, the leader of the free world who tweeted a Napoleon quote. And you're like, well, technically when he said he who saved his country violates no law, what he meant by that was I didn't violate the law.
I'm not
Technically,
saying what he meant. That's what I'm saying. You're the one who's saying
You're
you
saying
can, you can read it. I can't. I'm saying I can do my best to try and interpret it, but that's the best I can do. But I have to give the good faith and the bad
To be
faith.
fair,
If you
Trump
want
is
me
a
to give the bad
very
faith, I
high
can.
level writer.
no.
Sometimes
Can
hard
we
to see
give
what
the
to say.
reasonable faith? Can we give the
reasonable faith is-
reasonable faith?
We want to fucking follow up. The reasonable faith isn't I've heard 6 words, I've concluded everything.
Well, hold
But
on.
wait,
no,
but
this
he
is
didn't
not
just
in
give this quote.
isolation.
He didn't.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Thank
This
you.
is in
He
context
tweet-
of all. Okay, hold on. Can I read you the JD Vance quote and to ask you what your opinion? Okay.
I would also like to.
Okay.
Follow up with that.
Sure.
Subject.
So he says, I think that Trump should, like, if I was giving him one piece of advice, fire every single mid-level bureaucrat, every civil servant in the administrative state, replace them with our people. And when the courts, because you will get taken to court, and when the courts stop you, stand before the country like Andrew Jackson did and say, the Chief Justice has made his ruling. Now let him enforce it. Does that not indicate exactly what's happening right now? Or do you think that is completely out of context?
Could I follow up just one quick with another quote, just real quick, because we're talking about this tweet. I am concerned about the tweet, but I'm more concerned about his double down when he posted again on Truth Social in response to Newswire saying judge rules that Trump admin defying court order to release billions in grants, and he responds, "He who saves his country violates no law." I feel like this isn't out of context. This is not in isolation. He is clearly responding to a certain number of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one, it's actually
Is he not going through any kind of judicial, like, is he not meeting the judicial challenges? Is he just like doing shit?
What do you mean?
Like, is he not going through appeals? Is he not saying, actually, we're not violating the law because of this and the other thing? Like, it's the whole fucking pivot. No. This isn't if we should this isn't if we should send Trump to jail for defying court orders. This is if we should be concerned if this administration is maybe pivoting towards a more authoritarian stance. That is what the debate is. Okay. Now, if we want to send Trump to jail for defying court orders, I might go, well, I don't know if he's necessarily done something that egregious yet, but he's clearly signaling it, and I'm concerned about that. That's what the debate is should we be concerned that this administration is marking very clear authoritarian strides and dismissing the judicial branch and dismissing the legislative and putting the executive far and above the rest of the checks and balances that this country was built upon?
I think you should be concerned those things will happen, but if you're saying that they are happening now, I disagree.
What would it take for you to see that it's happening?
Any legal filing that
when all these Supreme Court justices, when all these like House representatives, when all these judges are coming out and sounding the alarm and saying this is a power grab, this is people coming like and trying to take power away from the legislative, away from the judicial, and moving it into the executive. Do you think they're just doing this because it's like, well,
can't trust the judges in New York?
Yeah,
They're only fucking appointed by Trump.
Those in your brain, do all of these people have Trump derangement syndrome? They're all just like partisan hacks. They are not sounding this alarm. Okay, so why do you think they're saying this?
You're allowed to make an argument if you feel that way, and they can back it up. Then I'll listen to it.
What do you mean? It's not feeling. It's like, hey, Trump is defying this court order, and you keep saying, well, I looked at these cases.
Is there not a currently filed challenge? Is there not a currently filed appeal or challenge or anything to whatever's come on?
The appeal, kind of. The appeal, have you guys read the appeal?
I haven't read the appeal you're referring to.
So the defendant and the plaintiff don't actually disagree. So they appealed it because Trump's team is saying that like the judge changed his order and overstepped to basically say that basically even if Congress passed a law saying like it's illegal, or if we found embezzlement, you still have to disperse embezzlements. If you find out you're funding terrorist organizations, you have to keep funding terrorist organizations. And so they're saying, they appealed saying, okay, the judges removed all restrictions on this to like, it was supposed to be just for the memo and anything related to Trump freeze. But now they're saying basically fund everything infinitely. If someone sends a demand for $10 million, just give it to them. Don't even question it. And they are saying that new order. And then the plaintiff's argument is,
wait,
no,
they
didn't say that.
You said
if
someone sends a demand, this is congressionally approved funds. This isn't just out of nowhere. You ask for money. This is Congress voted on this and said you have to spend this money. And Trump's saying no.
That's not the frozen part. The frozen part isn't to Congress. Congress diverts funds like say $10 billion to helping the homeless. Then let's say someone asks for a grant. Let's say it's soy pills, rubber duckies for the homeless, and I want $10 million to do that. And then if Trump then goes, wait a second, we reviewed. So the executive decides whether or not to give you that funds to follow the Congress's purpose. They have to take a good faith effort to disperse those $10 billion over the course of the fiscal years to funds that help the homeless. If they discover that you're actually embezzling all that money, they don't have to go back to Congress and say, hey, but we're going to keep sending this guy money to embezzle all this money. Can you guys maybe pass a bill that says we cannot do that? It goes, no, the actual terms and conditions allow them to cut those things off. And so he's freezing individual. That's why each of these things, or each people getting they're not like the bill isn't being frozen. Specific people can be. And that's why some of the exhibits are actually related to like stop work orders and things that are permitted outside of any sort of, this is no Trump action. This is just normal shit that they do prior to Trump.
So is my understanding is like all of the US aid that was cut and frozen, that's what you're saying, all individual grants, everything's been frozen, everything's been unfrozen that should have been, everything that is still frozen is not pertaining to the memo?
I don't know if it's not. So all I have, because all I can see is the time frame. I think the latest one I have is like as of 2/4. And so like I can like timeline it out and see that like they are being unfrozen. I was reading through like the emails that they're sending. So that basically ASAP and PMS are having separate, like, so you're seeing like constant issues between the two of them in terms of saying how they're going unfrozen. Some of them got deleted. Some of them, they are being like responded to saying, hey, we're processing as fast as we can because you're right. If you want to say that this is like an extreme incompetence in going, you froze everything, which then leads to like 6,000 then being overloaded with all these things, which slow down the process of being like where someone goes, normally you'd respond to me within a day.
Well, do you not think that's kind of part of the point of like creating chaos and making sure that all of these bureaucratic industries that they all agree with look bad so that they can privatize everything? This is kind of like part of the whole MO.
But wait, hold on. Sorry. I do feel like we're getting lost. We are getting lost in this rabbit hole because I do like, not to hammer home this point, but I like Occam's razor like kind of tears your argument to shreds because I don't know if you can explain the tweet anymore.
Again, we keep doing this thing because remember, my position is I care deeply about what they actually do, take in court. You care deeply about tweets.
No, I'm saying when he says this and you're like, and I'm like, wait, hold on. Isn't that clearly signaling that he's going to break the law? You're like, no, I don't think he's going to break the law, but I don't know what the fuck he said.
Hold on, let me ask this. Hold on, stop.
Law.
Stop. What if he had done this? Okay, this is to Zetsway and this is to Audacity because I'm just curious, right?
Sure.
So you say that tweets don't matter, it's actions that matter. But wouldn't we say if Trump was like, hey gang, I'm just gonna totally ignore this court order. Fuck the police. Snitches get stitches.
Impeach him. Remove him.
Right?
Get rid of him.
He doesn't do
done anything yet. He hadn't actually ignored the order yet.
Bro cares way more about tweets than
about that. Yes,
no,
we
if
should.
if he actually does. So if he actually ignores the court order. So if he
no, I'm not saying he's doing. No. He's not actually ignoring it yet. He's simply tweeting that he's gonna.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfectly in line with just impeaching him and getting rid of him.
That's what we're doing.
No, you're not. You're taking a fucking Napoleon quote and going, this is proof. This is proof. proof. He's gonna fucking break the law. It's over, dog.
Not
It's
a single
over.
person here is saying the tweet is proof of anything. It's just a conversation starter for the context of what he has been doing, what they've said they're going to be doing up until this point, from JD Vance, from Project 2025, from Trump himself. But it sounds like this is. I didn't realize it was you, Zitsui. Sorry, because you didn't have the mask and the camera.
Yeah.
Like this was kind of the same argument we got into with the constitutional crisis, where it's like, okay, so it's only a crisis insofar as soon as the threshold for like, oh, now we can't solve it, now it has reached that threshold. So if he's in the process of doing something illegal, if he's in the process, it's like, well, until the final court ruling happens, suddenly it's not him defying a court order, it's not an intention for him to do this. Like, this is such an absurd standard of like, well, I'm not being stabbed until the knife has already penetrated my heart, and not the guy brandishing it and running down the alley about to stab me. Like, I don't understand like why you have this absurdly loose standard for what could possibly be considered.
It's great. He's not holding a knife. You're saying that he's tweeted out saying, like, he who shall stab, whoever I stab.
He is following. First of all, he
soy pill.
Huh?
That's when you can do it. Once he actually buys, it's what is it? Once you take an actual legitimate step towards enacting your crime, then you have begun it. But you can't just
okay, wait, okay, whoa, go, no, yes, stop. Is him defying the court order in the first place? Now you can say, oh, but they unfroze it later. But him in the first place, is that not a step towards it, or no?
No, they dispute that. They're saying that they are complying with the order.
Defiance. It's dispute. It's
fucking.
That happens all the time.
Can we genuinely just like look at ourselves? Just like take a little bit of a moment to go above your head and look down at ourselves and recognize that we are having a fucking conversation about if Trump says, I want to defy court orders, and we're like, well, hey, wait a minute. We don't know exactly what he means by this. Okay.
Say that.
Now,
That's what we're saying.
But he didn't say that. He said the other day he would comply with court orders.
Wait, hold on. You explain the tweet then, Audacity.
Let Audacity go. Let Audacity
explain. Could you explain the tweet?
No, if we were actually in an actual act of defiance, he would just do it and say, no, I have the executive authority to do so. He would have filed a fucking motion, a statement, something saying, I have the authority to do so. He didn't do that. He pivoted. He appealed. He's currently in that process. Now, if the appeals process goes, hey, Trump, you're not actually able to do this. If the Supreme Court goes, hey, Trump, you're not actually able to do this, and he does it anyway, then yes, he's fucking wrong. But we're not there yet. We're not there.
This is so exciting. Can you explain the fucking tweet now, Audacity? Why did he tweet that?
Did I not? Because
the reason he asked again is because you just said,
because he puts out a statement. Fucking messing with people.
If he puts out a statement,
that's just what he likes to do. He likes to go, I'm gonna fucking murder someone. That's just
he did the same thing with I could shoot someone on Fifth Street and they still love me.
He really just pisses off the libs.
Did he shoot someone on Fifth Street? Did that happen? We're saying it. We should brace for impact for him shooting someone on Fifth Street.
Did he say I will?
Yeah, we're still on the fucking fence about him shooting someone on Fifth Street. We're still waiting for it.
Are you guys for real?
Fucking Christ.
Can we like turn off the autistic part of our brain and recognize that like the
Buddy, I'm not going to start building a fucking bunker because the president of the United States tweeted something, all right?
Yeah, okay, so again, this goes back to if this was just the tweet, I would be very concerned that the president was saying that. But if we just totally ignore this tweet, if we're talking about JD Vance's statements, if we're talking about the people who are in charge of now the Office of Budget and Management that wrote Project 2025 that explicitly say, hey, let's defy court orders, do you think all of that is completely irrelevant? Because if you do, then like I don't even know what the point of talking to you guys is because you live in a different fucking reality.
No, I'm saying it's relevant, but when we're acting like saying, if they can do anything, so as soon as they show up in court and make that argument ever, then I will have, then I'm with you 100%.
Okay, so if they say, we are defying court orders because we are king, then that's when it happens. But if they're like, well, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing anything illegal, but they still do it illegally, it doesn't matter. They have to explicitly tell you, they have to staple a big paper on their face that tells you, hey, I'm doing a legal thing now. Like, what is the, where can you describe to me the situation that you think is going to happen where they would be doing what we think they're doing? What does that look like?
Am I supposed to live my life thinking that everybody on the fucking street could just murder my entire family and then I should just press charges on them all together? Or should I actually wait for some kind of fucking
If everyone on the street said, I'm gonna kill your fucking family, every single person was walking around Audacity saying, I'm gonna kill your family, yeah, you should think that. If they were all saying, hey,
everybody on the street is walking around fucking saying they're gonna kill my family, that's probably the norm for that hypothetical hypothetical bullshit. You know, whatever.
Well, I wouldn't bring my family near him.
Regular society. I'm talking about in regular society, and everything we know about people and trust and the way we live our life and the way people are able to govern everything. Should I just fucking think that everyone is a threat?
No, but when someone tweets out, "Hey, I'm going to do something incredibly terrible," and quotes someone incredibly authoritarian,
he didn't say he's going to do anything incredibly terrible. Trump said he quoted Napoleon. Okay, that's it. That's where it starts. That's
He
where
who
this
saves
ends.
his country violates no law. That is what he said. Stop trying to pretend like he did, like he just fucking, like it was just his like notebooks, and it was just like, oh, holy shit, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm curious about Francis.
Wait. Can we test? Wait, let's test this. Look. Let's back up. Calm down. Let's calm down. Let's calm down. Let's calm down and test this. Audacity. If Donald Trump had tweeted out, "I want to put all the Japanese people in internment camps," what would you say? And actually, what if he quoted FDR?
Really,
he quoted FDR, but he didn't have any indication of himself doing any policy. He just quoted FDR completely out of context. What would you say to that?
I'd say, oh man, that's bad.
What do you mean?
No,
That's
it's
bad.
so bad.
Well, how would you
There'd be
respond to it? Like,
I would
that's bad, and
probably
that's it.
wake up
Move
the
on.
next day and go to work, and I would tell my coworkers, "Oh man, that's so bad."
That's it.
No, I
You
can
wouldn't
tell you
be
exactly
at all
what I think.
concerned that maybe.
Soy pill. What do you think he should do in that case?
Write your
What,
comment.
he should be like, holy shit, the president is clearly indicating that he wants to lock up Japanese people in fucking camps. Let us fucking impeach this man.
Get in the fucking bunker. It's over.
Yes, if the president says he wants to unconstitutionally lock up an entire demographic, you should freak the fuck out.
I have a question for Audacity. Okay, you're saying you would go to your coworkers and you go, whoa, holy shit, that was crazy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, did you do that with Trump's tweet?
No, I'm on paternity.
Well, okay, thank you.
Wait. Congratulations.
That wouldn't be a severe. So the thing is, that would be infinitely more.
But if it came up in conversation, I would say the same thing I said at the start here, which is like, that's a really fucking dumb move to do when you have all this litigation. The guy who just defeated so many courts should understand. Don't play these games.
What is
Don't play these
talking
fucking
about?
games.
Answer.
Wait. That's who he's trying to talk, and he can't
Hold on.
understand.
I was trying to ask Audacity, but yeah,
Sure,
go ahead.
So my response would be saying, if he did that, it wouldn't just be saying that's bad. I'd be probably volunteering at any single fucking legal thing I can to start make sure I'm preempting to fight it. I'd be contacting my congressmen, my representatives, my fucking governors. I'd be contacting every single fucking person I can to try and say, how are we going to start fight? Like, we need to start drafting things now. Because things go, well, he just tweeted something, and you're like,
why?
No, that's not enough.
Well, why? Because he didn't indicate anywhere other than in the tweet that he wants to do this. It's just the tweet, right?
Yes, and what I'm doing is preparation for if it goes beyond a tweet. If it doesn't go beyond a tweet, then my preparation, the thing is that I'm still happy with my prep work, basically, to make sure that but I'd still be taking action and opposed to it. The problem is, if he said something, if I go, well, he said this Napoleon tweet, if he follows it up with something of actual defying court orders, then yeah, but I can take action on that. But I don't have action. But what am I supposed to do against this tweet? Like his notice of internment camps, I know what I can. I know.
Well, I wouldn't go onto a panel and advocate that it's not a big deal.
In response to a specific.
Oh my God.
He did this in response to a specific ruling. He said this in response to a specific ruling. He said, "This is the one." He said when the judge ruled that Trump admin defied court order to release billions in grants, Trump responds, "He who saves his country violates no law." This is not without context. He said, "This specific one is the one I would like to violate."
I don't agree with the court's position that they're in defiance of it. That's
but regardless, he is saying he would like to violate it.
He didn't say.
He didn't say that. Unfortunately,
oh my God, Zetsui, you can look back at 8 years of Trump tweets. Zetsui, you can look back at 8 years of Trump tweets when Trump disagrees with a court order, when Trump disagrees with what a judge did. He's very explicit. He comes out and he's like, "This judge, it's not very good," and he makes this big fucking tweet about it. And this is not what he's doing. He's saying whatever I do is legal because I'm serving my country. Do you not see the distinction there?
This is the most sued president in our lifetime. No.
What does it have to do with anything?
What? Yeah, what?
I actually don't understand the.
He has opinions. He has thoughts about the judicial process. Therefore, you know, when he tweets something innocuous like a Napoleon quote, we should just be upset about it. No, fuck it. I don't care,
No,
man.
actually, no. If
Nothing
all you
is
guys
what
do is
the
be
hell are
upset,
you
then actually
talking
that's fine with me. Actually, I'm not. If all we're doing is just being upset, but when we're talking about like, do you think we should be taking action? Like where I just mentioned what I would do if he tweeted out saying, "I think we need to imprison all the Japanese people." I told you what I would do.
What if
Do you think we should
Trump's,
be doing
what
that
if
right
Trump's
now
vice
for this?
president said, "I think we should defy court orders"? Then what would you say we should do?
Wait, because maybe me and Zetsui can agree. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, cool. I feel like we're bracing for impact right now. I think we're saying, hey, this guy is making authoritarian actions. We should be concerned. We should be a little worried about the neck. We should keep a fucking eye on the thing that he's doing because defying court orders is crazy. And I'm not saying, okay, cool. This is a crazy tweet as well. And I'm concerned about it.
Sure. And so then the things I would do, so if you were worried about this, the things I'd be doing right now is, one, going through the court order itself, going through both briefs, looking at the appeal. Like, so I'd be reading through going, okay, what actions are actually happening? And then if you feel as though what you want to try and stop Trump, a big thing you could do right now is if you could get Congress to actually try and issue any statement on behalf of Congress, then I think that would probably be your best bet, especially shutting down.
I agree, but unfortunately, can we agree that Congress is very deferential towards Trump? They have not blocked any of his appointments.
Before that, did Congress
not
issue a statement already trying to like curb the power of Elon Musk and curb like this the defiance of court orders? I'm almost certain that they've already been trying to draft something up in the House. No.
I don't care where you draft. A draft doesn't mean anything. I'm saying have they actually passed it and made it an actual statement?
Well, also, if it doesn't get passed, then it's not them trying to speak up against this. I don't understand.
Well,
like if the representatives like in Congress are saying, which they are, hey, this is a defiance of court orders. This is an executive power grab. Like
if all the representatives
I did not say all of them. I said there are people in there. Now, I'm not saying that just because they said it makes it true. I'm saying
very Eastman argument. Huh? That's the same, like similar to Eastman. I get it.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that that's true. I'm not saying that just because, you know, like if just AOC said this, if just Bernie Sanders said this, like just one senator, one House member does not make a entire thing true. I'm asking you what if Congress passes this legislation. That's it.
That's how they speak. They don't speak through individuals. So Congress, a representative saying something, even 10 representatives collectively saying something has zero value to what Congress's position is. You have to actually speak as Congress.
Do you have a genuine question? Sure. Like, really genuine question. Do you think that if Donald Trump himself said, I'm going to fucking intern, I don't know what the verb is, intern Japanese people, do you think Congress would make any sort of statement, like just given who they are and the Republican?
Within 10 minutes.
I have more faith in them than you do, but yes.
I don't have faith in the Republican Party one bit.
That's fine.
You think you think they would do that? You think they'd let him just basically on blood alone imprison our own citizens? Just because he just doesn't like Japanese people. You just go, the Republicans are just white.
Wait, come on. Can we
Republicans in our fucking Congress right now that would hate.
Could I answer the question? Could I answer the question? I will bet that it's not just random Japanese Americans, just like it wasn't in the 1940s. Maybe he says, maybe like a Muslim person shoots up a school and he goes, okay, well, now we got to intern Muslims. I'm saying now that's it. I want to be clear. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm not opposed to it anymore. I would not be flummoxed. I'd be surprised. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's going to happen.
To give you some credence, we had a couple terrorist attacks, Muslims involved, blah, 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 and he wanted to do the whole
Muslim ban.
So,
again, you know, to give you that,
I understand it wasn't interning our own citizens. 100%. It was just changing the immigration laws. I understand. But what I'm saying is, if that were to happen on some grounds, I don't think that Congress, given its demographics at the moment and how much they've been deferential towards anything that Trump says, including blocking their own fucking TikTok ban. Trump fully just said, no, I'm just not going to enforce that law. And then TikTok is running, even though Congress made it really clear that TikTok should go down. And Congress has said nothing about that. I don't think that Congress has any balls right now to stand up to Trump.
I want to ask a question to Staxium because I wonder how far you'd go with this, right? So you don't think if they interned Japanese people in internment camps that Congress wouldn't speak up?
If it was fucking random, then yeah, I think Congress would speak up. If they went crazy, but I think that if they
okay, so there are lines where you think
yes, there are lines.
They're not okay.
Yes,
Trump-
yeah. There's still people. They still can disagree with Trump.
What are the lines? What are the lines? I'm just really curious. Where do you think that line is?
I think I'd have to see some example. I mean, I gave an example of I think if it was just we gotta start talking, we gotta start maybe denying Muslims some Bill of Right protections, I think that they would let that happen. But when it comes to just fucking random Japanese people and it has nothing to do with anything, then yeah, I think they would get their balls together.
Yeah, I can present maybe a hypothetical that might help you. Like, I think that if we went to war with China over Taiwan, I can 100% see them doing that with Chinese citizens.
Well, that's a great example.
Yeah,
that's a great example.
You think you didn't turn Chinese
Chinese
citizens?
Like, well, he might also get Japanese ones because he can't tell the difference. But like,
well, no, let's just go with that. So let's say that he says that again that there's a threat. We think that people might be a threat, even our own citizens, without any due process. We're going to take all of their stuff, whatever they can carry in their hands, all they get. We're taking all. I want to be clear. No one would back up them.
Well, hold on. Wait, what was the last thing? What was the last thing? No one can what?
So that Congress would do nothing. They just go, yeah, it's okay with us.
Well, I think it'd be around party lines. There might be a couple
John McCains out there. They did a really strongly worded letter and said, "Hey, this isn't cool."
Oh man, it's almost like Congress is really slow to move on anything.
Yeah, so we should just fuck all the checks and balances and sledgehammer this fucking shit through, right? Like, because they're slow. It's not like the processes exist for a reason.
I mean, you have more access to your congressional representative than you do to the president of the United States. If the president is doing something, yeah.
Stacks. So wait, have you guys written your representatives or your senators?
Yes. Wait, about this tweet? No.
Not about this tweet, just like at all, bro.
Well, no. I just mean no, not at all. I mean like since like Trump's been elected. So like, have you? Oh, cool. Can I ask you about what?
100%. I know my representative.
Well, like, have you written and called like since the
I was against. What I specifically called about was Tulsi Gabbard. I think that was
that'd be. I don't want to derail, but
solid.
No, for sure. But no, in case you're wondering, I have called my representative. Now, probably not as much as I should have, but I do know my representative.
Yeah.
Which I think is more than I would say like 60% of Americans. Yeah. But like, I'm not trying to lift myself up. I'm just trying to denigrate the average American.
Solid.
No, I wasn't trying to call you out. I was just saying like some. I want to know what actions you guys feel you're taking to move forward. Like so, and I'm trying to like, if you didn't do that, you're bad.
And like, here's the thing: when it comes to this Trump tweet, probably the most I'll do is jump on this panel and say this is fucking psycho. Okay, I call my representative about actual substantive things they would be able to do, and I feel like they would be able to make a difference in. Okay, so like, I do care about policy over tweets, obviously, but also this tweet is fucking crazy. Those things can happen at the same time.
And also, just real quick, can we like try to untangle this from it's a tweet, because I know tweets have this kind of connotation of these frivolous things. If the president said this in a speech, if the president said this anywhere, this would still be fucking insane. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's in a tweet. It's about the president saying, hey, whatever I do is not illegal because I'm serving my country. That's fucking crazy.
In an address to Congress, if he had said this, yes, it would be insane, especially since the context around Napoleon making this tweet.
Okay, wait.
Before he declared himself.
So it's just because it's on Twitter that it's not insane. Just to be clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, really?
Wow. Okay.
Wait, no. So here, Audacity or not?
Hold on. Really? No. Stop. I want Audacity to clarify.
Please.
Really? Is that really your stance that because it was tweeted and not spoken in a speech, that's
if he stood 2 feet 10 toes on the ground and said that
State of the Union, and he says he who
it would be way worse.
He's just talking to a crowd. No, stop doing the worse.
No, he's talking to Congress.
This goes back to like our original line of questioning.
In front of representatives of American politics, hey, I'm not violating any laws because I'm trying to save the country.
When he tweets, he's giving this to
That's way worse than trying to put it out in a tweet.
But have you heard of a Mon Belly, bro? Like, because we all agree that it would be worse if he spoke to Congress.
Oh, my God, debate tactics.
Wait. I think that this kind of goes back to our original question, which is, all right, Audacity, your implication is that Trump does all this stuff as his job as the president. He, does Trump stuff, and then he goes home, and when he gets on Twitter, and he just goes into this like hobby mode where he's like, well, this is a cool Napoleon book. I'm going to talk about that. And it's completely irrelevant to what he's been doing all day. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Because it's what he's been doing since 2015.
Okay, I don't know where to go from here. I don't know what the fuck. Like, I honestly
go nowhere. Then
if
I
you're
don't
being
know.
Good faith, I that's insane.
Wait,
I respect
do you think?
it.
Wait, hold on.
that
I'm
you can
so
hold
curious.
that same position. But holy shit, like bite the bullet. All
Has
right.
Trump
Wait.
ever tweeted a policy position
Yes.
which he enacted, which was a violation of Constitution or judicial order or whatever?
I would like to respond. Okay, because holy shit, you stumbled onto a fucking landmine.
Oh,
yes,
let's go.
he did
Blow my legs off.
exactly that. He did that exactly.
Blow my legs off, bro.
Probably about 6 years ago, he enacted the Muslim ban through Twitter.com. Through Twitter.com, he said Muslims are not allowed to go into this country, and every fucking airport around the country went. Wait, what are we supposed to do? Wait, we don't have any laws here. We don't have any things to do. What should we do? Everyone fucking scrambled.
Executive orders for that. I thought you needed actual like.
I understand he didn't. He tweeted, and then he enforced the airports to do so, and no one knew what to do. It was a catastrophic mess, and yes, he violated the Constitution in doing so because a judge overturned it like 2 months later.
And I think he also he fire? Was it Jeff Sessions or one of the directors of the FBI through tweet as well? So yes, he did. Like I'd have to look up which one, but yes, he does this all the time. Is the point? Like if you've not been paying attention for a decade, like I can understand.
He 100% enacts shit through Twitter. That's his weird thing he does.
Through Twitter.
That's a weird thing he does.
Enacts. Announces or enacts?
He announced.
Okay, wait, no.
Executive orders.
Sure, okay, maybe not enacts. Okay, Audacity,
Okay,
do you think that this might be his, I'm going to say that I'm going to do this insanely unconstitutional king power grab thing, but I haven't done it yet. Would you at least
probably not, because with the Muslim ban there was a lot more than 8 words. I'm pretty sure.
You for real? You doing a bit? Is this a real way that you interact with the world? You go, well, this one has 8 words, and this one had like 15 words.
I just like
so this
being contrarian to be contrarian. Like this is like I'm just like kind of checked out because it's like, all right, so you do actually subscribe to the idea that Trump as a human being that operates as the president is completely different from Trump the tweeter, who, as far as we can tell in the past decade, there is no distinction. He's doing and saying the exact same things in both of these platforms, so much so that banning him on Twitter was such a big deal because we now do not get the voice of the president through that one medium that he loves to say all the stuff that he's going to do on. Like, I just don't understand like what reality you're operating in. It's fucking crazy.
Like genuinely the reason
I would say my reality is that an announcement is a lot different than an action, is a lot more different than quoting Napoleon. If anything.
Okay, just to be clear, the reason why
actually the mass shooter in Norway. So
the reason why him getting banned off of Twitter was overturned was specifically because judges realized that he was enacting laws through Twitter, and they realized that is important for the public to know about, so that cannot be taken away from the public. That is the reason why Trump is back on Twitter.
Also, wait, can I just before we get away from this, because you said that he enacted a policy that banned all Muslims.
No, you're right. Announced. I apologize.
Okay, but did he enact that? What did he do? So right, so I get you. He said, "Oh my God, he's going to ban all Muslims." Then what did he do? It was
an executive action after.
And what did it do?
Tried to ban all.
What did he do?
He had a list of
banned Muslims from 7 countries or so.
Yeah, because if you're saying, oh well, he didn't specifically.
It wasn't technically a Muslim ban.
Demographic ban. Right. Like
it just happened to be the 7 most majority Muslim. Whatever. Is that what you're?
A 90-day delay on all these bans. They were travel banned for 90 days from Iran, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria. Okay. They were all basically listed by Obama. That my issue is that, from my perspective, it was fucking retarded.
Ban them.
No, he didn't ban. No, but the thing is, the list of like threatening these 8 threatening areas.
Because he knew he couldn't literally just do. Well, I mean, now he probably could get away with it.
He doesn't have to, apparently, because you guys will do it for him. That you guys will just pretend like he did. That he doesn't have to. That he can do something.
He said he wants to ban all Muslims, and then tried his best to do that.
Acted like he did.
Yeah, but so
because
were,
like, crying in
this is just like the crisis thing. So if Trump says, "I want to do something illegal," and then he doesn't get away with it, it's totally fine. I just don't understand this precedent.
He didn't do it. I'm saying that his actions, when he goes, so he'll say, "I'm going to ban all Muslims." Then people like you will say, "My God, he's going to ban all Muslims." He then takes an action that is not banning all Muslims.
It's just doing his best to ban all the Muslims. Yeah.
No, it's this basically to do a stupid placative thing that you will pretend bans all the Muslims.
I didn't say it banned all the Muslims. I think he wasn't affected. Clearly, it's not in act. But do you? Okay, wait, hold on. No, I need to lay this out because this is fucking insane, Setsui. If Trump says, this is my policy, I want to ban all the Muslims, then he goes into power, he gets elected, and says everything in his power to do that, and gets a partial bit of that done, which then gets overturned because it is fucking insane. Like you said, this is somehow not an indication that the man who said, I want to do this thing, wants to do it.
No, I'm saying that he will say something massive. He will do then something stupid and pretend like that. But the thing is, he doesn't like try and do something massive and then do the stupid thing. He'll just do it, and then people will act like, so people on the far right will go like, you're right, he's keeping his promise. He banned all the Muslims. And people like you will go, you're right. My God, he's madness. He's banning all the Muslims.
Well,
and
I'm trying to.
Motherfucker, he delayed 90. There were translators from these countries that were all that should be in our country that I can't. Because the problem is that you fucked over the people that he got fucked over because you guys are so focused on going
You're actually wrong.
ban that I'm just going, I want
You're
him
actually wrong.
Sure, I don't know. Actually, if I'm wrong, then go ahead.
Okay. Well, actually, I kind of fucked up my example. Okay. So I would like to apologize a little bit, but I'm also right and wrong at the same time. Just hear me out for 2 seconds.
Did you
You're also a cutie.
deceive him? Okay.
Yeah, I did. Fucking yeah, that's my master move. Okay. So when he banned transgender people from the military, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He tweeted, and no one knew what the fuck he was saying. Okay, he said, after consultation with my generals and military experts, please be advised that the United States government will not accept or allow. And then 7 minutes passed, and everyone's like, what the fuck is he talking about? Are we going to war all of a sudden? He bans transgender people from the military, and there was a debate in the Pentagon for 2 full months about how to implement this because no policy was passed.
Yep.
Some were saying, we're going to fucking ignore this. Obviously, it's a tweet. And others were like, well, the president did this, and here's all the ways that we could do this. And there was a huge debate happening. And for 2 months, Trump didn't pass fucking anything.
Yes.
And all we had was a tweet to go off of.
Yeah, I know that was that's a great way of putting it. Because he tweets something out, and all the generals going, did we receive something? We've received nothing. No one has communicated shit to us. All he's done is tweet, and we have no idea. He goes, why the fuck
people
were
like, well, here's how we,
and then just we're blind, and we're trying to figure out it's a chaos over and over again.
I agree.
Yeah, wait. So do you think that's a failure of
terrible practice of him?
No, he's never been fucking reelected. Holy fuck.
No, he blindsides the people in his government constantly with shit like this. I hate it. I fucking hate it. You're supposed to have a warno. You're supposed to have an op-ord. You're supposed to say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is my intent. This is how we're supposed to execute. He never fucking does it. He needs to be banned off Twitter.
It's even worse than that.
If he was banned off Twitter, we'd never have this fucking conversation, though. So
when they drafted the budget, they literally read the people go well, how did you draft the budget? We listened to a bunch of his speeches and read his tweets and tried to figure out what the fuck he would want us to do. That's how insane it is.
That's what I'm trying to say is I think that kind of elevates the latitude, that kind of elevates the language that he speaks on Twitter, is that he kind of enacts policies through Twitter. Unfortunately, that's kind of Trump's MO. Is he kind of
you to really wrestle with the word
just real quick. No, because this is important. And Staxiums, I think you hit on something, and I want that's way to engage with that, right? So if you acknowledge that this, in Audacity, you two, you both acknowledge that he often does things like this, where he will tweet something and expect it to be followed.
Yes.
Given that that's the case, that he uses Twitter, and we have examples of him using Twitter in this manner, does that not elevate the concern when he uses Twitter, the same platform he uses to actually try to enact bans, right? To say something like, again, what he said, the Napoleon quote, he who saves his country violates no law. Do you not think that this takes it up a few steps because of the pattern of behavior that we have, the examples in the past that we have of him doing shit like this? Yes or no?
Let you go first.
Go ahead. Sure, yeah, no, I like that a lot. Actually, what Stack said, that goes, we have him tweeting dumb shit, and then people going, what the fuck do we do with this? And then them trying to figure out what to do. And even if what I said, I'm saying what they end up doing is fucking retarded, but it doesn't change the fact that goes, this is utter chaos. That goes, we're trying, we don't know what's going to happen. And quite honestly, Apparently, neither does his own administration. Because when he tweets that out, just as we're trying, it feels like honestly we could literally be his cabinet going, guys, and we have the exact same argument. He fucking means this. No, he doesn't. We don't know. All we have is a tweet, and we've received nothing. Then you go utter level of chaos. This is like, again, I would say that unprecedented, and actually no. So I think I would grant a lot more actually to them. And that's a great way of looking at it. I like that a lot.
Okay,
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
I also agree. He has a method of going out on Twitter, saying shit that his cabinet, his vice president, other people that support him have to go out fucking supporting. And it's like, brother, you just went through like 8 years of litigation. You should know by now to shut the fuck up and just let, the process play out. But he doesn't, because he's a dumbass. He's an absolute dumbass. He's just so... Yeah, I did.
You did?
Fuck yeah, brother.
Have you ever seen that It's Always Sunny episode about like the wild card?
Yeah,
talking about. It's like, I'm a fucking wild card. I'll play by the rules. And the other guy's like, that is actually extremely detrimental. That's not helpful one bit.
I know this is going to devolve into another conversation.
This isn't funny. It's actually just destructive.
Maybe we could have it later, but it's legitimately... I'm going to vote for this asshole until the other side starts listening.
Okay.
To me.
Right. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Hopefully. Wait, are you saying if he tries to run a third time, you're going to vote for him again, even though he can't?
What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're saying you voted for Trump as a protest because Democrats didn't listen to you? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it is the Michael Moore. He's a giant middle finger to establishment politics.
Okay, so
it's
what do you feel like
reason he's in there?
Okay, Wick, is it okay to go down this rabbit hole? I know this is fully not what...
I think we've kind of reached a stopping point on this tweet.
I think so,
it seems
too.
like,
Honestly,
at best, it's,
just...
Trump doesn't mean it, and he's incompetent and chaotic, and we're saying, we think he does mean it, and, like, maybe we're never going to see eye to eye on that, but, like, clearly we all think it's bad. So maybe we can move on to Audacity's politics.
Yes, because, again, as I said in the group chat when Rob was still with us, this was the starting point, not the end.
Rest in peace.
But it's just, I am...
Wait. Okay, wait. Can we approach this?
I told you guys. Give me a moment. Here,
wait.
Okay. I told you guys backstage. Today's been kind of shit. Okay. I've had a tough weekend. So maybe I shouldn't have yelled at Rob that much. But...
No, that was so good. Like he was calling you out for this bullshit. He attacked you personally, and you did a great job.
I will help you pack your bags. I will give you the keys to your car, and I will let you drive off. Do not, on my panel, try to dictate my panel. It just won't work out for you. It won't go well.
Anyway, Staxiums, what do you think of that?
Wait, no. Can we say? Let's approach this. Staxios and I are two Democratic liaisons. We're here to listen to you, Audacity.
I agree.
Concerns.
I would love
the
to
Democratic Party. Is
I would love to listen, and maybe we can stop you from voting for Trump in his third term, as we know he will.
That would be great. Maybe take immigration seriously next time around. Maybe actually try to stop abuse of our asylum system. Maybe try to stop illegal immigration, and then address the problems with the courts and the asylum process and everything that goes on with that.
Okay, so
maybe try to just keep them on that side of the fence, and then we can talk about, hey,
I have two questions.
We need to process this better.
I have two questions. Firstly, what do you feel like? Do you feel like Biden essentially just ignored the situation and didn't deport any illegal immigrants? And secondly, why do you feel like illegal immigrants are bad for this country?
Oh my God, what a loaded question! You dirty.
Is that
boy.
fair? No. Hold on.
Yeah,
Wait, I can reword it. I apologize. Why do you feel like it would be better to deport illegal immigrants rather than grant them citizenship? Is that a better way to phrase the question? I'm sorry for being loaded. That's fair. That's a fair point.
I'm sorry.
Is that still loaded?
I was honestly just fucking with you. But yeah, no. I want immigration into this country. I want people to come here and have a better life and everything. But they need to be registered, man. They need to be in the tax identification system and everything. They need to be able to claim asylum through appropriate means. We need a system that can appropriately process some of those asylum claims, so on and so forth. But if we're at the point right now where that's not possible because of the limitations, the first step is to go, hey, you need to stay over there till we figure it out over here. and then we'll go from there. But to answer your other point, did Biden ignore it? No, but I feel like he danced around the issue a little bit. Like, I'm just gonna straight up try to fix the issue. I'm gonna try to fix step 3, even though steps 1 through 2 need to be addressed first.
Well, when you say step 3, are you talking about the bipartisan border bill?
Yeah.
Okay, so like
the one that Trump shot down.
What do you guys? Wait,
Trump
what do you guys
shot
think
it
on that
down.
bill in
I
general?
forgot he was in Congress.
The one that Trump shot down, correct. Wait, he tweeted, "Hey, Republicans, stop voting for this."
Well, hold on. Tweets
and then
aren't
Republicans...
real. Tweets aren't real stuff.
And
another example of fucking tweets becoming policy.
They have no agency other than what Trump tells them. I forgot.
Well, I think that's kind of true, unfortunately. Yeah,
unfortunately, they get voted out if they don't fall lock in step with Trump. That's how cultish the Republican Party is.
A little housekeeping. My dog needs something. I'll be right back. Okay.
Go feed that
no
dog.
slurs.
I love your dog.
It's slur time, everybody. No, Audacity.
Anyway,
unironically, do you not see
Joker.
that what Trump, the leverage that Trump and now Elon have over these members, saying, "Hey, if you don't do exactly what we want you to do, we will primary you. We will put $250 bajillion into your primary opponent." Is not sort of a "we are beholden to you" sort of situation? Because that's how I see it. And if you see it another way, like maybe I could see that.
Mm-hmm. No, it's exactly how I see it, and it's exactly how the game the Democrats have been playing for so long, too.
Okay, maybe, but what we're saying then is Trump shut down that bill by saying, look, if you guys don't vote no against this, I'm going to primary and get you kicked out. I'm not going to let you have another term.
That's the issue I have. That's the issue I have, is that you put the onus on Trump for shooting down that bill, as if the elected representatives have no agency for themselves, and definitely members.
I feel like you're walking between two different arguments, because you just said, well, yeah, obviously Trump and Elon are going to try to primary their opponents if they disagree with them. That's the game that Democrats have played.
Keep it in the context of the border bill. Not Trump and Elon on the border bill, just Trump on the border bill.
Well, when people like Ted Cruz and Graham come out and say, like, we voted no because Trump said to, like, do you not...
Yes.
Like, it was a bipartisan bill. It was drafted by Langford. It was, like, kind of agreed upon before
Sponsored
Trump
by the Border
came
Patrol.
And by the way, like, I can see a good faith argument for Trump supporters or Trump saying, look, I don't think this is going to go far enough. If you pass this, even though it will slightly help, it will be a little band-aid, it won't be what I want to happen, and so I want this to fail. That's like a good faith argument of like why I don't want this to happen, and that's not the argument they're making. They're saying this is the worst thing ever, just shoot it down. So like, it doesn't seem to me like this was the people in Congress are like, man, we don't think this goes far enough sort of thing. This is explicitly Trump said, do not give them this win. And people in Congress have said, Trump told us no. Like,
because people blame the president for issues with the border. That's specifically what he said.
Do you guys have family members who are like, so I've had to discuss this border bill with family members who are conservative, and that their view isn't like, because Trump said no, their view is they didn't like the bill. They're like, it's a bad bill, so we support Trump saying shoot it down because it's a bad bill.
Sure. Right.
And
right.
so the idea of saying, but if that's what the constituents say, so if Trump says this is a bad bill, and the constituents all say this is a bad bill, then the Congress people should vote no. You're there to represent your constituents.
Of course.
But that's not what happened, though.
Wait, hold on. I actually agree with you. But I will say the constituents and the representatives are falling very just lock in step with Donald Trump because this is what Donald Trump says. I'm saying they're a little bit cultish. Now, are the representatives acting out of their own, like, yeah, of course they should listen to their constituents, because if they don't listen to Trump, they're going to get primary. They're going to get booted 100%.
If their constituents like what he said. If they like the border bill, then Trump saying shoot it down and also we're going to primary you would fail.
100%, but there's a little bit of circular reasoning here. What I'm claiming is that they like it because Trump said it, not Trump said it and they like it. It's this.
Yeah.
They are.
What percentage of people do you think read the? Have you guys read the whole? Like, have you guys? I mean, I'm not even like trying to call you out. Just saying, have you guys read that?
I read it. I did read it a while ago. Like back in like.
And so the thing is that,
November.
and even what percentage of the population do you think?
Do you guys mind if I get a minute?
Oh, I would say, and I'm in the top 5% for sure of people who are locked into like politics and things like that. Now, I've read articles on the bill, which I think is more than most people have done. But I don't think I've ever read a bill like front to bottom.
Not us.
It can be worth reading it, but it's usually I think the articles are better.
Then I'm top 4.9%. If that's the case.
There's people I pay to do that shit.
Look, the omnibus bills, I get it. The omnibus bills, I get it. I understand, right? But sometimes these bills are pretty Pretty brief.
Yeah, it's like
Dude,
4 or
I
5
understand.
paragraphs.
I just like I subscribe to different news organizations that do that for me. I don't
Look
like.
at
I
this
don't
guy.
think that
He
that's that big of a
trusts
problem.
The establishment, the
Yeah.
lying.
No, the thing is that
True.
they're
media.
usually cited. So usually, if you think there's some sort of doubt, the problem is that I run into, especially like conservatives who said there was a bad bill. None of them could tell me what was wrong with the bill.
100%.
Do you think it's
And
a
the thing
bad
is
bill?
that, just so we're clear,
This
I
is
don't
irrelevant.
have an
I'm
issue
just
with
curious
I
what
don't have an
you-
issue with it, but no. So in terms of it, it seemed like it was more of a processing speed thing. And the problem is, so if you're going to process them all into the country and not reject them, then my guess is conservatives would be against that. But if you're going to process them all out of the country, so if we said we are going to process all of them and deport them all at hyperspeed, my guess is you guys wouldn't be in favor of that, would you?
Say that again.
Wait,
So let's say that they
is
go.
this the bipartisan bill? I thought the
increases
bipartisan bill was, hey, if you have an influx of this many people over a 7-day period, that's when you put a freeze, and you're capping it at a maximum of what was it, 1,500, 2,000 a day,
Yeah,
and then
that
it
was part of
was more judges, more screening for drugs on the border, like things that are like, okay, like this seems to be a both people agree this would make the problem better sort of bill.
It was funding for process. So the thing is, so it's saying like, so we have more judges, and so the problem is I try to find articles on this to say, how many judges do we currently have? What is their current workload? How fast are they going? Like, what is our backlog? These are the kind of things I try to look for. And so I would probably say I'd be in favor of like increasing processing speeds. But in terms of saying like, I can't argue to a conservative, you should support the bill because I think processing speeds are important. If they believe that it's going to be like, oh, because I think part of it was, I should have continued to look into this, but like all like appeals and stuff were being like diverted to the DC circuit. So it's like, wait a second, is this gonna, because certain places, depending on where you end up, might have like a 90% approval rate of your asylum, and some might have like a 5%. And so if we divert, so if the bill, and again, not saying it says this because I need to verify this may just be, I don't do a lot of federal immigration stuff. Actually, I've never done federal immigration, but if that's something that we just normally do, then it's fine. But if it turned out that like, let's say the bill instead diverted all of them to like a Texas court rejected all appeals. So we hired a bunch of judges all in Texas who were going to tell every single person no. But we got plenty of funding, which you guys, I would suspect, I would say Democrats should be opposed to that because you're not trying to just process people out of the country. You have a feeling on the actual asylum claims themselves and say, I think these people should be permitted in, period. Not just processed out, but processed in. Yes? Does that make that?
I understand what you're trying to get at. I think it's kind of adjacent to the point we're making, which is just this seems like this would have alleviated the massive influx of asylum claims. And yeah, this could be done in the bad way, as the example you just said. Like maybe they're just hyper, expediting processes without even looking at them and kicking people out. Like I probably wouldn't be in favor of that if that's the way it's executed. But like it seemed like this was saying, look, we understand there's a large influx of people claiming asylum at the border. We cannot process these people fast enough. Can we dedicate some resources to this in a way that both people agree? Both people agreed, except then Trump said, no, I do not want this win to happen, spoke to specific Congress members and Senate members and said, say no.
Yep.
I feel
I don't think he even read the bill. He just I doubt he even knew if it would be
100%.
helpful or not. That I think that he goes, I just don't want an immigration thing being taken forward. And the fact is that whether someone felt, again, no one read the damn thing. So Republicans will just go, it's a bad bill because Trump said it. And the reality is, again, for Democrats, we'll also go, it is a great bill because Trump said it's a bad bill. They're like, there's a lot of, I'm not saying you guys, but I'm saying that I have a low opinion of most people.
I don't think that was the argument. I think that most people were saying, hey, this was a bipartisan bill that was sponsored by the Border Patrol, and Trump specifically tanked it, specifically just to garner disfavor towards Biden when he's trying to solve the issue.
If
Now-
Trump was in power
Yeah,
and
but they're-
he was doing the exact same
they're
bill, do you
okay
think
with
there would
it.
be Democrats against it?
They're okay with it because it addresses one side of the issue.
That's a hard. I would say.
Yeah, I'm asking you to predict the future, but I'm just saying, yeah, it's your vibe.
Well, I think
That's
if
a-
anything,
that's a
since
hard question because-
there's a more extreme bill that was never even seen because it was probably too extreme to be passed by Congress that I think most Trump supporters would be a lot more okay with, that he would probably will try to enforce now. Whether or not he has the support for that, it's a different story, but I don't think he would do this bipartisan bill. He would be trying to push that one.
On the
Right.
on the
I agree with you. I think that there would be bipartisan support for that bill if it got passed right now, but that bill would not be passed right now because Congress knows that they can pass something a lot more brutal, which Democrats would then
Yeah, I would
disagree with.
need to see the brutality. Yeah, I would need to see the
I think so. I don't know though. That's a weird hypothesis. I don't know if that. I don't
The
know
whole
if I-
reason we're
Yeah,
talking
sorry.
about this is because Audacity, you're upset about the border. You're upset about the way immigration's being handled.
Upset about it.
Well, excuse. I'm not trying to. I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Are you
to be
not
nice.
upset?
You don't like.
I
the
think
current
it's an
situation.
issue. I'm not upset.
Sorry. Well,
Sorry. That's
we're
how I
using
just talk-
common parlance. I say
when
I'm upset
when
with this
liberals
thing.
talk about politics they don't like, they're always crying. So that I just assume
Exactly.
that conservatives are doing it
Exactly.
too. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to misrepresent
I
you.
don't
So
care. I like you guys. Whatever.
Yeah, no, and you've been incredibly, as far as like, even though I think the tweet position is insane, you've been very good faith in this. So I really appreciate that. Same with Setsui. Like, I think your positions are crazy, but you're at least you approach this with a modicum of, oh, okay, but this is what I really think, and as far as I can tell. So I appreciate that. Thank you guys. What we're saying
and I
is,
appreciate Sax saying, like, I mean, like I said, I did change my mind a bit here.
I love everybody
That's a great way of
too.
looking at it.
Okay,
Yeah,
the
just-
hug box is great.
Back to
Cool.
fighting.
Love the hug box.
Back to fighting.
No, we're gonna love.
Yeah.
question.
Circle jerk. Okay,
Audacity,
but I want to.
question, though.
If we're on this new,
No, I need
kind of,
Soy
like,
Pill's question.
start another.
yeah,
fight.
I want to give
I was
Audacity a
just trying
chance,
to
but
redact it. Go ahead.
just to kind of clarify where we are at in the purpose of the discussion for the audience and things like that. I think we've settled the question of the tweet, right? And now we're talking about what Trump and his Congress is attempting to do, why people support him, and
Well, it was
what
actually more
concerns they
of
have of Democrats.
Audacity voted
That's
for
pretty
Trump
much what
because he
but
says
go
the
ahead,
Democrats
Audacity.
weren't
Audacity.
listening.
I want to give it to Audacity.
Okay, we're asking him. Just saying.
Now, so you said, what is Trump's Congress doing to support all these actions, or whatever? That's another issue I have, is that they are not doing enough. This is something that I've touched on in the other conversations about Doge and everything, is that they are just simply not doing it. I mean, we have the Doge hearings headed by Marjorie Taylor Greene. But it's not enough. Like, there needs to be more congressional action on this, but I also hold that mindset in place, knowing that Congress is slow to move on anything, man. They are just
Totally.
whether it's right or left, they have a bad track record of
Could I?
moving on anything.
I'm gonna
Absolutely.
take over the conversation for 1 sec. Soy Pill, just real quick. Okay. I feel like what Congress really should do is, because, like, obviously there are illegal immigrants who came in, like, maybe like they were 30 years old or whatever. They overstayed a student visa or something like that. That's probably not acceptable. But kids, sometimes 3-year-olds, are brought here very early. And they are, in my opinion, as American as I am, right? Yeah, maybe they came over the Mexican border. They don't have their papers, but they were born here. They speak this language. They went to our schools. In fact, most of them don't even speak Spanish, or they speak Spanish only to their parents. I think we should have some sort of process in order to grant them legal status. How would you feel about that?
I think I was in boot camp with a member of the military. I was in boot camp with someone who's from Azerbaijan.
Mhm.
And he joined the United States military because he wanted citizenship. He wanted to learn a skill set. He wanted to be able to delve into, an American way of life that he felt was better than where he was coming from. And I completely agree with that. I don't like brutish, what's the word I'm looking for? Deportation. I don't like it. I don't think it's great under Obama. I don't think it's great under Trump. I don't think it's great under under Obama again. No, Biden. I don't think it's good under Obama. The system needs reform. There needs to be
100%.
a work to citizenship process.
Now, I'm really glad you brought up Obama, because Obama implemented something called the DREAM Act, which did literally exactly what I said. It took those illegal immigrants that came here as kids and gave them legal status. Trump came into power
We're focusing
and
on
overthrew it. Not only did he do so, because we have all of their status information on file, he is now moving to deport them because they are the easiest targets. And that is really what I'm trying to talk about with Trump. I understand what you're saying about problems with illegal status, and I understand what you're saying about Congress being slow and bureaucratic. But Congress does pass things, and a Democrat president still is trying to do things because Biden and Obama stood by DACA when Trump tried to overthrow it, and in fact, in some cases, reversed it by deporting those very kids. And
DACA's executive action. That's wise. The thing is that the reason that he tried, and he actually even failed. Actually, partially, not even certain how I don't remember what the course of rationale was. I'm kind of glad they did it anyways. I think they pulled something out of their ass. But because it was done by executive order, which means Trump could technically undo it by executive order. And they're like, well, you have to give a good reason. And you're like, that's not technically true, but I'm glad they did it. And then Trump just gave up on it because it shouldn't have been done by executive order. It should have been done by Congress.
That's a fine legal argument theory. Actually, I've heard those arguments against DACA. It's like, hey, this is like kind of, if anything, like this could be a conversation about when this happened, Obama taking power from Congress and doing an executive, and it's like, oh well, you know what, just because he did something I liked, which is I think these people should get citizenship, I can understand the argument like, no, this should have gone through Congress, this would have been better, and I can criticize Obama for that. That said, now that it's happened, I could say Trump coming out and saying, hey, we should never do this again because this is a unprecedented, consolidation of power in the executive branch. I'd be fine with him saying that. I would even agree with him. I'd say, you know what, you're right. Let's go with Congress next time. But to undo it for no other reason other than to punish those people, that's kind of what we're taking issue with. It's like, oh, he doesn't care about those people having now been naturalized and like making their lives better and contributing to the economy and paying their taxes. He wants to punish them. He wants to say, look,
punish immigrants or punish Democrats?
The DACA recipients.
Yeah. You guys see any problem with that?
But to punish Democrat positions or to punish the DACA recipients? That's the thing.
To punish the DACA recipients.
Is that
of course?
What do you think? Well, who do you DACA?
Yeah, who do you think is
someone
punished?
It shouldn't reward, but I say who cares? But like I'm okay with it. Who did it reward that it shouldn't? Do you know? Could you answer? DACA rewarded someone that shouldn't be rewarded.
Sure. The parents of the the parents that brought the kids in.
Yeah,
sure.
So in my opinion, that's wrong. The thing is, what you're saying is, if you violate our laws and just bring a kid here young enough, we're like, we'll reward you. Here's like, we'll give your kid
right. And
now,
let me say, would this be your argument? Would you say, oh, this incentivizes people now to come over illegally more because it's like, well, look, they just got rewarded for coming over illegally. Like you would be against that, I would assume, right?
I would be no. I'd say that's a thing. I would say that's a bad externality to it, but it's not enough to overcome the good of DACA. I think so. It's like it needs to be taken into account, but
that's why what we're saying is, look, if you want to come in and say, look, this incentivized illegal immigration, this rewarded people that shouldn't have been rewarded, those are fine arguments. I think those are good faith. I think those like I don't even agree, but I would still be like, look, I understand if this happens, like this was maybe even potentially unconstitutional, but to then go and punish the children who already have this status, who already have been granted this, it seems kind of ridiculous. It's just vindictive. What is it actually doing? Unless you think, well, this is showing you like no matter what, we're going to get everyone, and we're going to set this policy. Not a single illegal immigrant's going to get a single drop of American money.
Like we said, it's kind of a middle finger, right? And I think that sometimes the middle finger is to the bureaucracy. Sometimes the middle finger is to some 14-year-old kid who grew up in Santa Barbara but came here when he was 2 years old from Mexico.
Yeah. No. I agree. The thing is, but notice. So I'm saying. The fact is we're rewarding people and even encouraging bad behavior, but the problem is even though I'm doing that, the punishment to the innocent, the kid who just came over here, doesn't even speak the language. We're deporting him. He goes, this is his home. He goes, you had your chance. Like the fact is, I blame the government that goes, you had your chance. You could have not had, you let him get harmed by him staying here for his entire life, knows our language, knows our culture. You fucked him by letting him stay, by like leaving it all here. And then now to fuck him over now, it's your fault. If you guys have ever seen the show, I hate to bring it, but Airbud, like when they create the whole, like after 100 years, a certain period of time where you can't undo this anymore. So I think that they shouldn't have been allowed in because the immigration policy isn't, but because they did get in, and now that you took too long, you can't like harm the kid. You like that's I blame the government for doing that. And so, however, if someone believes that the value goes that yes, we're harming the innocent, however, I think we need to it's more important to me that we stop this going forward. Therefore, I'm willing to sacrifice those. I think that's how I usually want to fight against it, but not by saying like you just want to punish the kids. I don't think they want to punish the kids. I think they're willing to go.
Because if they wanted to do what you're suggesting, would they not simply say, "Look, this has already happened. These people's lives are here, but we are never doing this ever again. I am not making it illegal for anyone to be granted citizenship."
We've done that
from
before.
Illegal. Right. So would that obviously not be what they're going to do if they didn't want to punish the children? To say, "Look, never again. We're just not doing this."
Would you encourage the parents to be deported?
No, I mean, my ideal world, no. But like in terms of saying like, do I so could I be okay with that? Probably, because I'm saying I can't just say reward everything. She goes, violate our laws and just we'll give you whatever the fuck you want. I can't go that far.
So what would be your prescription? Or do you not know?
If I could really do it, so I would want to basically actually do what Reagan did, where it goes, if we could actually secure the borders, so we're not worrying about externalities of saying like, because we said yes to you, suddenly the border's going to get a lot more people at it. But if we actually had secure borders, I personally would want to give amnesty to everyone. It goes, you know what, y'all, like everyone who got in before the gate closed, it's not worth our time to go after you as long as you're not committing, again, unless you commit them. Even then, you go to our prisons. But no, so I'm just saying amnesty for all of them. That's how I would do it. But because we can't secure the border, the problem is that's what I want to do. But as soon as you do that, the problem is all you've done is just made an open borders policy, because we have a porous border. And so if you just say everyone who gets in, regardless of our laws, just gets to be in, then I don't even know the purpose of our immigration laws at that point.
How would you prevent like overstaying visas or things like that with a perfectly secure border?
So in terms of overstaying visas, one is you'd have to be able to track. So it's an
Ship 'em.
IT problem.
Okay.
That's actually my biggest, even in like, so reviewing even the Trump orders, a lot of this is an IT issue of government doesn't update their systems. That a lot, even like, let's go with COVID actually did a lot of good for government systems, that they were so outdated that they couldn't operate, and COVID pushed them to force themselves to actually start using things like Zoom and telephone calls, because like courts never would allow those things. They were retarded, or you didn't have access to things online. But because of COVID, they were forced to update themselves. And so
modernize it a little bit.
Yes,
Doge is also finding these issues.
Well, I got to point out real quick. I have
Sure.
to push back a little bit. One of the reasons these things are so outdated, and I've worked in various government industries, and part of it is inefficiency. Part of it is everything moves really slow. But a huge part of it is, in order to change something, it is an incredibly large process where all of it has to be vetted, all of it has to be made sure that it's secure. And that's the reason we don't just like take something like our COBOL databases or whatever slow, like inefficient government websites that we have, and immediately like
Cobalt is banking.
Yeah.
Let's get that across the line.
Yeah, you're a software engineer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you actually worked on any like updating any system for public entities?
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of like do you mind? I mean, sorry, if we're off track, I'm not trying to like pull us away, but I'm just curious.
We're way off track, buddy.
A lot of this is
If Wick hasn't changed the title, he's doing something wrong.
We're off on the Neverlands. We got about 15 minutes, so go ahead.
A lot of the, because I think a lot of the things of these issues fall into those kind of like basically an IT problem of saying our systems fuck up. That's why I was saying like during ASAP that I'm looking at like these the affidavits from all the entities that were under ASAP, and I'm going, okay, they seem to be facing a similar issue of like this one got deleted and they have to like email, and some people who email get theirs restored quickly, other people are not emailing at all, and so theirs aren't getting restored, and so like that it's a fuck up of, and that it still means, if you want to say incompetence, but it doesn't feel like to me bad faith. And same thing with PMS though, that one's going up a lot faster, so that these are systems in places that are either outdated or have basically they don't have easy ways of
updating
of what
them,
you
right.
want. And so that like, so in your mind, so I think of like the whole, because they actually mentioned in their opposition brief, they go, it's a lot easier to say freeze everything than it is to say unfreeze everything that we did only because of this reason. Because if it doesn't date the freeze or it doesn't have a rationale for the freeze, you then have to review each one and go, okay, we froze that one because of embezzlement. Okay, leave that one frozen. We froze that one because Congress told us to. Okay, leave that one frozen. Why did we freeze that one? Well, Jim just freezed it because he thought Trump wanted him to. Okay, unfreeze that one.
Well, I mean, this is now we're deviating all the way back to the original topic.
Sure.
But don't you think it's an issue when Elon Musk then comes out and says, "Hey, regulations should be default gone, and then we should add them back based on need"? When he has a precedent of coming into a new system and not understanding why everything is there. So if his opportunity and MO is to go in, delete everything, and then figure out why it's there, rather than, like you said, go one by one, delete the things that don't make sense. This seems like a very intentional sort of.
There's a great example.
It's not just incompetence.
What happened to the Department of Energy? Do you guys know? Like what? Like because of this, they fired a bunch of people who have like the nuclear stuff.
Yeah,
and they had to
exactly.
Go, like, frantically rehire them. That goes like that whole like let's remove shit and then add back. It goes, no, motherfucker, this isn't Twitter. This is the government. You can't just freeze someone's Medicaid and go, we'll get back to you tomorrow.
Well, even with Twitter, we saw what happened with that, with the blue check marks, with the bot problem. Like this is what he does. He doesn't get it. He thinks he does. He comes in, he fires everyone, and he's like, oh shit, there was a reason for this in the first place, and slowly builds it back up. It's like the classic libertarian.
I'm curious because we're all shitting on Elon Musk, but I think Audacity, you were standing by him. Do you disagree with what we're saying here?
No, not for the most part, because there is and I've said this previously on panels on here, there is a whirlwind of action going on where it's like there's too many broad, or I'm pretty sure I've said this on Twitter, is just there's too many broad orders going out there, which too many people are interpreting to mean one thing, and whatever, regardless of what the initial intent of those orders are, that chaos. And it's just, you need to be more targeted with the information here. And it's when you're saying like when Elon Musk is coming out with his audit report saying that there's $20 million being spent on X, condoms, whatever, and Trump's coming out saying, I'm going to cut that spending, like, are you actually just cutting that spending, or are you cutting our fucking nuclear defense budget? Like, what are you doing? It's bad.
Wait,
I understand.
Are you?
I understand. I elected the guy to be a middle finger. There's still things I fucking disagree with. Too.
Well, what do you agree with him?
What do you
Elon Musk? What do you like about Trump?
What do I like about Trump? That it's actually happening in the first place.
Yeah, unfortunately.
About Elon Musk?
Sure.
About Elon Musk? Nothing. Because he can't read SQL.
Okay, well then.
So fuck him.
Sure.
What did he say? He can't read SQL?
Can't read SQL.
He doesn't understand SQL tables in relational databases. So fuck him.
Yeah, well, hey, I studied it and I still don't understand it. So
this is we're off onto weird things. Okay, let me just ask this, right? And this is to Staxiums and this is to Soy Pill, right? Will you, if Trump does end up following the courts, regardless of what he tweets or what he says, will you come out either in public, on Twitter, or on a stream or whatever, right? And admit that I was worried, but it turns out Trump did follow the Constitution. Is that something you'd admit?
100%.
I would, but I would.
Well, go ahead.
One at a time. So
no, I'm sorry. Yeah, go for it. You're fine.
So
sorry.
my understanding is that he already has. Zetsui seems to say that so far there's no evidence of that. I would have to see this. I know there are some that are like, okay, maybe he is unfreezing some of these. My understanding is he is already defying these, and that this is their intention. But I'm going to make like alarmist content for the next few years, but if in 4 years it turns out he followed everything letter to the law, it's totally fine. He steps down. There's no January 6 2.0. I'll come out and I'll say, look, guys, I freaked out, but I was wrong. It was not as bad as I thought it would be. I would be just like those liberal wine moms in 2016 who said he was going to start World War III and a nuclear war, and then he didn't. Like, so if that happens, I'll admit it. It's all on me. I just don't think so. I'm very doubtful.
I'm going to double what Soy Pill says, but I want to tack on another thing. If any of them goes, well, yeah, you shouldn't have worried to begin with, I will probably kill them in Minecraft. I am so justified. I am so justified in being worried right now. And if anyone disagrees with me, I will fight them on that.
Well, hey.
And if anyone looks back and says you shouldn't have been worried to begin with.
At the end of the day, like, can we acknowledge? Well, are you though? Because in 2016, you had a lot of people freaking out. It turns out that they weren't. Trump didn't destroy the country.
Just not
disagree.
No, hold on. Wait, Wick, I do want to say something, because if anyone interprets that as I think they were wrong, they weren't wrong. They were just wrong about the timeline. They said in Trump's first term, it's going to go out of control. He's going to blow up the world, right? I think what's happening in this past month has been everything that those liberal wine moms have described. It just took them 8 years of planning and a lame duck Biden presidency to really figure out how they're going to do it. I think he was unprepared. I don't know if he really thought he was going to win in the first term. I think this second term is exactly what all of those resist libs were warning us about, and I apologize formally to every single one of them for ever saying they were overreacting, because right now what's happening, I think, is just exactly what they said was going to happen.
I actually disagree. I think that Trump's first term was basically, I am fully vindicated in being terrified about Trump's first term. It was terrifying. We had a coup on the fucking government, and we had people attacking police officers, and Trump pardoned these people. Like, yeah, I'm mixing the two terms because obviously I'm talking about events that happened 2 weeks ago. But like, when we're going over, like, I just went over the banning the transgender people in the military, and he just tweets it out and people freaking out and like not knowing what to do. He takes so many protections that were given civilly to so many different people. I don't know. I think that I'm pretty justified in being alarmist about Trump's first term. Now, I don't think I ever said that he would shred the Constitution, that he would become an authoritarian tyrant.
But
that's what like the narrative was, right? Yeah,
right?
Of course. And I always say
to you, were they justified?
I always say you probably should be concerned that Trump wants to enact fascist policies, but I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that America's resilient enough that the populations don't want it, and that he knows the populace well enough to not do it. But he is always psycho enough. I do think he might be psycho. He might be psycho enough to do it. But like, I don't know the guy. I could be wrong.
Vindictive.
Yeah. Do you mind? So what Zach said originally, I like your whole like, I'm not going to back off by saying like, no, I was still right to be worried. I think he's right in that and saying that imagine Trump is the one calling out Wolf. And the thing is that we're sitting here going, motherfucker, it's never a wolf. It's always him in an outfit. It's always a coyote that never made it past the gate. And remember, at the end of that story, the wolf comes. And so the thing is, of him saying like, well, if we showed up this time and it wasn't a wolf, are you going to say that you were wrong for showing up? Like, he's like, no, because I have to, like, goes, I'm angry. I have to keep doing this. I'm frustrated that he keeps calling out wolf because the problem is I have to keep showing up because I can't not be there when the wolf shows.
Right,
so,
right.
So I don't think if
that's a great way to put it.
If none of this stuff happens, I don't think any of you guys should back off of saying like, oh, well, no, you're right. I guess I was overreacting. Stop fucking calling wolf, and then I'll stop reacting to the wolf calls. How about that, asshole?
Well, hold on.
This is a bit of a tangent, but the Crucible Limited asked me a question. Wick, why did you do that to Rob?
I did that to Rob. First of all, to be fair.
I didn't.
Wick only responded to the direct attacks against Wick, and he was justified. So
it was a congressional vote.
Let me answer the question, Soy Pill. Okay, please calm down. Okay, so when you come onto my panel, again, you didn't know Rob had no idea who was going to be on this panel when he accepted. There was no preconditions set. He didn't say, well, I won't go with this guy or that guy. There was no preconditions whatsoever. He comes on my panel. He decides to give me an ultimatum that he's going to either leave my panel if I don't do what he says. And then when I say I'm not going to do that, he says, well, I'm going to just talk shit and disrupt this panel the whole time. If you think there is any universe where I don't call him out on that, you're simply wrong. I do not let people run my panel. I let me run my panel. So if your question is, why did you do that to Rob? My question would be, do what? Enforce my rules and keep the panel productive? I won't apologize for that. I'll never apologize for that. I did what was right. He who moderates his panel violates no law.
That's my president.
I have a follow-up question to Andrew, just who's watching.
It's not illegal when the moderator does it.
Can you explain what a control is, Andrew, please? Did you not see his fucking?
Okay. But we are at the 2 hour mark. Okay, and I want to give everyone a chance to have their closing statements. Thank you for all of you who sat the panel through, and thank you to Zetsway for being a backup. I know it was really last minute. I didn't think I would need it.
Honestly, the better substitution.
I didn't think I was going to actually. Well, I suspected I might. But anyway, thanks for being here. And gang, if you enjoyed this content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, right? If you're watching this on Twitch or on Kick, hit that follow button. I really appreciate you. And I'm gonna read super chats. You know what? Do you guys mind if I read super chats right now?
Go nuts, buddy.
Make some money.
Only if
he who reads super chats violates no law.
Sure. $5 for generic plays. Thank you, Wick, for calling out Rob. More people need to. $2 from Aaron Gray. Howdy, y'all. Howdy. Dylan Bowser, member for 4 months. Thank you. Question for the panelists. How was your weekend?
Pretty good.
Amazing as of today too.
Put an offer on the house,
great
so
relaxing time, and
I've got a newborn and shit, so that's been its own challenge. But
I have a newborn too,
Thank
and
you.
he was sick over the weekend. It sucked.
Wait, you have a newborn too? You didn't? Oh, buddy.
I do.
Okay.
I have a
Blessings to you.
5-month-old. Is that still a newborn? I think it's still a newborn.
I hope that your newborn, you have health and everything that comes with it. You know, our aggressiveness in this conversation, I don't want to take away from that. I hope it's a good childhood for you.
Thank you, and I hope that the middle finger does not touch the child tax credit that Trump has been touching.
Okay. Let me.
that was you just passed that quick time event so closely.
Drew the Dogman. Where does the Constitution say that the Supreme Court is the sole arbiter of what is constitutional?
Marbury versus Madison. They're the supreme law of the land. I don't understand the question. Is that not?
Well,
no.
He's referring to the fact that there was a court decision that did grant judicial oversight and overview to interpret the Constitution. So I'm not sure the exact name off.
But remember, we're only a temporary restraining order. We're not. We haven't had a.
Am I crazy?
No one's ruled on the merits yet, so no one's.
Yeah.
No, this
$5
we have no solid.
right?
Yes, Marbury established judicial review. Yes.
Yeah.
$5 from Fat Surprise. That depends. Did they literally just drop payload on Pearl Harbor? LOL. In response to the internment camps. Aaron Gray for $5. While we may disagree on a lot, I am glad to have your input, Soy Pill. Cool peoples you seem to be. $2 from Lord of the Nerds says, "What a lame panel." Buy a clue with this $2. Thank you for the $2. $5 from Ariel Fernandez. Hugo Chavez didn't turn a 40-year-old democratic country into dictatorship in just one day. And remember, the people elected with a majority of votes. And finally, $2 from Ariel Fernandez. Chavez attempted 2 coups and was pardoned for it. And thank you for the $2. Okay, with that, closing statements. Let's let Zetsui go first, and we'll let Audacity have the last word. So Zetsui, give us what you got.
Sure. Yeah. I guess I mostly just want to say it's a small defense of Rob. And I mean, I realize it was unacceptable what he did for Wick. I also, just for this panel, I agree with kind of what Stack is here at the end here. But for that is that if you think someone's acting in bad faith, it's very hard to answer that. Like, it feels very frustrating and enraging to have that person ask you. For a thief to try and criticize you for stealing, you'll likely tell them to go fuck themselves. And I feel like that's kind of what Rob was going for. I'm not saying it was right or wrong, but I'm just saying that, like, I can understand that feeling. But I do believe that the way he treated Wick was unacceptable. But otherwise, I normally do like Rob. But so otherwise, yeah, I don't really have any things. Happy to be a stand-in, Wick, for you whenever you need. Otherwise, nice meeting y'all.
Thank you. Soypill, go ahead.
Yeah, just quickly addressing the Rob situation. I thought that he was asking or not responding to a question in bad faith, so I did the only thing that I could do that I could get him to answer the question, because I haven't criticized Biden's corruption on public Twitter, so I had to show him what he needed, the only thing that he would allow to answer my really easy question, and he did, and I'm happy he did, and I'm sorry that that somehow makes him think that we couldn't have a discussion, because it was pretty obvious that I revealed it. I was going to be good faith the rest of the conversation. Regardless, I think that what's happening right now, as much fun as I've had on this panel, is really scary. Obviously, like the commenter said, this is not a overnight process where you just flip the dictator switch. This is something that everyone, all the historians, all these politicians are warning us about, because it is bad and it is happening. He is consolidating power. He is trying to ignore judges. And it's not like some secret. He is telling us that he is doing it. He is saying, hey, this was our plan the entire time. I don't think tweets are irrelevant. I think this is very clearly in context of the entire plan that he wants to do, which is to consolidate power in the executive branch, reduce the power of Congress, and just do whatever the fuck he wants, because that's their fucking MO. So unfortunately, as much as I had the good faith discussion with Audacity and Zetsui, I don't think that their opinions are good in this case. It seems to be that until he does the absolute utmost craziest thing or announces this in front of the entire world, which I think he already did on Twitter, it's not bad. I think it's clearly showing steps towards a horrible, horrible, horrible thing, and it's already horrible where it is. So please, for the love of God, call your reps, like Zetsui said, write letters, protest, donate to causes. Please, please, please fight this. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for being here. Staxiums. Oh, and just to be clear, you probably shouldn't have lied to Rob. Let's be real. But
Rob should have just answered my very good faith question.
Look, lying is
not my fault
sometimes
that Rob
okay.
It's not okay.
Hold on.
It's
Wick,
not.
He who
Wick,
said
for this?
doesn't
Exactly.
lie.
I thought that Rob...
Everyone on my show who lied, none of you would be here.
I
think
originally...
the last time I came on this panel, I had a large argument with everyone about how lying is sometimes
And
not
fine.
Wick,
Go ahead,
really quick, I
Staxium.
need to defend myself. If you look at that tweet, it's very clearly fake. I put 1 year in the timestamp.
I didn't
No
even-
tweets look like that. It has 7 views, but 23 likes. It was actually, I thought he would immediately see it, and it was kind of the point was to say, look, why aren't you just answering my question? It doesn't matter what I said in the past. I don't have to exist in this conversation. But he fell for it, and that's not my fault that he's stupid. I'm sorry.
I am Staxiums on Twitter and YouTube. I make videos. TikTok mostly, although, you know, TikTok is now becoming a shill for the CCP. So I've been kind of trying to branch off of that. Thanks Wick for having me. Thanks Zetsui for being, I think, the only person I've ever changed a mind on a Wick panel. So thank you for having an open mind. I think that's all. Thanks so much.
No problem. Thanks for being here. And last up, Audacity. Go ahead.
No, good conversation. I still want to be beholden to belief that it's just a tweet. Nothing's going to come of it. I want to also, give some credence to Staxims here. Like, look, man, I know you said Zetsui is the only one that you've changed your mind on. But yeah, I've got things to think about too. Thanks to you. It's really great to interact with everyone here. It went a lot better than I thought it would. I thought it was just going to be no good faith arguments the entire time, and I was wrong. And I've talked my shit about Soy Pill, and so on, the left, the right, Wick, whoever the fuck. It doesn't matter. It's great. It's great conversation though, but it's just one that feels like where are we actually going to end up arguing over a tweet? I really don't know. I really feel like we're not going to end up anywhere. But I'm glad to be here. I'm glad we had the conversation. We touched on a multitude of topics. Everyone made great points. Everyone made great arguments. I don't hold a single shred of like hate towards anybody. You're all great. So have a great life.
Good luck with the
Okay,
kids, guys.
I love you all. I'm going to leave you. We're not ending the stream because I'm going to address some of these complaints in chat. And if you have, if you want to address the complaints to me directly, the backstage is open. Right? You can just come on. But I'll see you guys later. I don't want to hold you guys here to account, and I'll talk to you later.
Take it easy.
Love. Holy shit!
I said I got a little bit of time, and then he booted me.
Oh wait, are we still,
All right, my
are we
bad.
still in? Hold on, I gotta go back to this.
I tried to send it backstage, but Saxon Soy, can I share? Like, cause I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, hold on, let me just.
I took notes on the exhibits, and so like if you guys are curious just about like what I trying to like source them and stuff, I'm trying to figure out how to actually share.
What do you mean the
notes.
exhibits?
So that case, like, so we're saying, is Trump in defiance of the order? I was trying because
yeah.
I wanted to look through all of them because like the judge's response wasn't really enough for me, and so I wanted to read all the exhibits to try and go through them all. I've gotten through 18 through 73 so far. I'm just trying to see like because I was trying to determine what the fuck is happening, like why, like what's happening in all of them. And so I've tried to make these. I'm trying to figure out how to share them. I gave them to Rob actually because I thought like you and Soy and Rob were supposed to be talking soon, and so I was looking forward to that. I was going to give it to both you guys,
Okay,
but
they were in Obsidian.
Yeah, they're Obsidian. I'm trying to figure out how to share Obsidian things.
I
think
I checked out of Rob being an honest proponent of this conversation. Like in the DMs about the conversation.
Can I ask you guys? So do you guys remember there was a pan like for Destiny after the whole assassination thing? He went on Piers Morgan. And Dave fucking Rubin had the fucking gall to like shame Destiny. And that Destiny didn't know at the time, but he had been celebrating Nancy Pelosi's husband getting attacked by a fucking hammer.
Because it always is.
And so from Rob's position, I'm not saying he's viewing it correctly, but the like thing is that level of rage, I think, is perfectly understood. If you actually feel that way, in the same sense that I think if I like Ruben through the roof for goes, who the fuck are you to ever criticize someone saying like, oh, you think you're not sad that he got shot? You're like, fuck you.
But Rob is the guy who, when debating Destiny, was like trying to be good faith. He was just feeding like prompts into ChatGPT and reading off of that. Like he wasn't even like actually
Claude AI.
Claude.
Keep it factual.
Yes, excuse me.
I understand what you're saying though.
Did you guys watch?
But this is the problem I have with fucking Rob. He was in the DMs. He was in the fucking group chat on this conversation talking about. I'm gonna talk about this. Soy Pill was like, oh, I'm gonna bring up. I'm probably gonna talk about that. I don't know enough about those issues. Blah, blah, blah. And then it ended up devolving into this shit show. Like, what the fuck, dude? You're either here honestly or not at all. Like, you just went for a throat. You had no chance.
Wasn't here honestly because I lied to Rob.
No, it was bad faith.
But Zetsu, I understand what you're saying, but I will say on the flip side, like. I think I've had like 4 debates with Rob, and every single fucking time it goes back to Burisma somehow. Like, I don't think he knows another topic. And it is frustrating that like all he can talk about is hypocrisy from the Dems because he's studied this case so fucking much that I don't know Burisma that much. So I can't just have a conversation with Rob.
And Stexus, and like, this was my point at the beginning. What I was trying to get him to say on Twitter was like, look, let's just assume all this corruption from all the Democrats, every single thing is true. Does that justify what Trump's doing right now? Like, if it is, like, are you saying 2 wrongs make a right? Or are you just like, hey, the Dems went so far, it doesn't matter at this point? But he wouldn't answer my question. So I was like, okay, sure. Let me make up a tweet so you'll just answer my question because this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I hate
someone acting in poor faith does not justify someone else acting in poor faith. It's roundabout. It's whatever. You can call it whatever political capital you want to be. It doesn't justify it, though.
Yeah, I can understand it because it feels incredibly frustrating to say like you can't be aware of every single thing. So if you're like, oh, you think that January 6th pardons were bad? What do you think of Obama's pardon of like Jeffrey Bobbins? And you're like, I don't know who the fuck that is. You go, so you didn't care when he did it. You're like, I can't.
That name's not real.
I know. I was gonna say. I promise. I would say Epstein. I was like almost supposed to say Epstein. I'm like, okay, he didn't do that, so I just made up a name. But I'm like, you can't know every single pardon. But the thing is, especially the average person, we see what there's on our news feed.
Right.
And so if it doesn't and so the thing is, why am I talking about it? Because it's common. It's what's news is right now. If it wasn't news, you're right. I wouldn't even be talking. If no one mentioned the Jan 6 pardons, I wouldn't be talking about it. Why? Because I didn't see it. And same thing for so if you guys had some big problem with that, then if it had become headline news, that's to go. I think even Destiny at one point was going like, why are we talking about Biden's pardoning his son? I'm like, because it's all over the news.
And
we're not
I was trying
them.
to reel Rob back in. I was like, look, if you want my real opinion on like a real like corruption for the Dems, I think pardoning Hunter Biden was corrupt. I think
a big fish to reel.
Like he I think well sure, you could disagree, but regardless, like I think that's bad optics regardless. Maybe you could convince me otherwise. I think that like his mass pardoning of the drug offenders, like he caught some bad people in that he shouldn't have pardoned. Just like, hey, this isn't good. I don't like this. I think it's crazy that I didn't say that publicly.
He's
on Twitter,
riding this incredible high over Destiny being accused of sexual assault over Trump winning the election.
Yeah.
Thinking that he can come on here and just fucking obfuscate and pontificate ad nauseum on shit. Like, he had a lineup for you. I went on Twitter and said, hey, compared to the topics people are going to fucking talk, compared to the people who are going to duke it out, I'm a smudge, right? Like, I thought you guys were going to have a real good conversation that came in here, and it was just like Hannity. I was like, no, it's not on my side in this conversation. Like, bro, if you wanted to be on my side, don't act like a fucking retard. What are you doing? Yeah. He just started attacking you. It was retarded.
Just, if you don't mind me asking, just on the Biden thing, the reason when the judge threw out the plea deal for Hunter Biden, I was pretty fucking pissed when I heard that Biden said he wasn't going to pardon his son. I'm like, okay, I get the optics, but that was fucking bullshit. These charges are, the taxes were paid. What the fuck are you doing? Yeah. And then, like, you used a book that said it's like some law goes, he marked, he did coke off a stripper's ass 6 months ago and bought a gun for 11 days that nothing happened to. And you let them, and they were just digging to find something.
Yeah, it might have been lawfare for sure. But, like, would you at least not contend that, like, okay, Hunter Biden definitely committed some crimes, right? Like,
yes. Oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah, like, he probably should be in jail. He's probably going to get away with it for being
in front of Congress.
Oh, sure. Maybe not that, but like, I think like he is like smoking crack. It's like, it's classic. Yes. Like, look, I'm not saying that we should be punishing nonviolent drug offenders. I don't think he probably didn't hurt anyone as far as I know, but it's still one of those like, okay, the reason this guy's not in jail is because he's got a rich, powerful dad. He should probably face some punishment. That's
actually, I think I disagree with that. Oh, Andrew's here.
Oh,
Andrew. We can't.
Just like me, because
everyone like Al Capone, like, so that we can't just go like, well, we couldn't get him for that, so let's get him for tax evasion. Al Capone was like killing everyone. That's why he goes like, okay, what happens if someone kills all the judges and kills the families of the juries? You go, but the problem is, I feel like people get poisoned by Al Capone to go, I bet Hunter Biden's done some dumb shit. So even though we got him on the most insane bullshit gun charge I've ever read in my entire fucking life, and he paid, like, it's like, oh well, he didn't pay them. All I care about for tax violations is that the government gets their money plus penalties. I am I am a conservative. I believe that you should be a careful steward of my money. You're telling me you collected the taxes that you were supposed to, and then you put it in a pile and set it on fire to prosecute him? I fucking hate you. You have the money. Go the fuck home. Will we do something else?
Well, wait, Zetsui, what do you think about the like the 10-year, what was it, pardon? Like, it's like a retroactive pardon for everything he's done.
It was a retroactive pardon where he basically gave him pardon for everything current and everything for the last 10 years, blanket.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a reason. Yeah, I understand why he did it. I think it's actually, remember, if you are currently facing a witch hunt, the problem is, it goes, well, they found him on these crazy shit. The idea that goes, I have to stop you from, because you're just going to find other crazy shit. You go, oh, well, actually, he did coke off a different stripper's ass. Right. Him again. And so you're going, no. I'm not stopping this because I think this. I'm going, I know what you're doing. Enough. He goes, you're done.
Zetsui, I don't even disagree with you. I just think that
it's bad.
Well, it does, and also had Trump done the same thing, depending on what he's pardoning people for, I still wouldn't be okay with it. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, look, Hunter Biden has done some crimes that I would probably be in jail for. I would be fine with him getting some punishment, and optically, it doesn't look good. I think it's a little corrupt. I understand the anti-witch hunt argument though, and it's probably, but especially for like the pardoning Fauci and these other people. It's like, look, yeah, they're gonna go after these people. They said they're gonna go after these people. I understand why.
I actually low-key disagree with you where you were saying the only reason he's not in jail is because he's got a rich dad. Like, I do think that the only reason he's being targeted is because he's got a rich dad. Like,
those charges would have never been brought.
I know a ton of people who fucking smoke crack. They've never gotten caught.
Obama admitted to it.
They posted on fucking.
He admitted doing blow in college. I can't.
Well, hold on. Smoking crack is very different than blow. Everyone's done a little blow, right?
I don't know either.
Look, okay,
but like, what I'm trying to say is, like, I know tons of people who like fucking smoke and post it on Snapchat. But he was Joe Biden's son, so they're like, okay, well, we got to go after this guy. Like,
yes, it was a witch hunt. Witch hunts find witches. Like the thing is that the idea of the statement "find me the man and I'll find you the crime" wasn't supposed to be an aspirational quote.
Wait, Setsui, I don't know, because I saw Elon tweet recently that if you're saying that there is fraud, the people complaining the loudest are the fraudsters. So if someone is saying, no, I'm not a witch, it's because they are indeed a witch and we should go after them.
Yeah, I completely. So with Elon Musk, like I didn't get to mention that, but like, so in terms of what he's doing, execution is my issue. But in terms of actually auditing funds, if you guys have actually Irrelevant, I'm sure you guys know who Irrelevant is.
Yeah, for sure.
He was actually, I was talking with
I
him
thought
recently.
this was Audacity until you said that, actually.
He was reviewing the GOA bullet of like that we have like there's estimated $200 billion in fraud, and like that we've been doing this every single year, going, oh yeah, there's $200 billion in fraud, $150 billion in fraud, and we're not doing anything about it. And so he's like, well, wouldn't it be good if we did a bipartisan like special committee to find this? I'll go, yeah, but we're not doing it.
Yeah,
and so part of me,
Bill
again,
Clinton
the thing is,
did
I have
this,
to grant
like,
that says
what you're saying, like they did a bipartisan. Excuse me, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Did we cut off? The thing is, then why the fraud hasn't? You haven't eliminated it. We're still like it's gone up every single year, especially after the PPO loans were like massively defrauded. The earned income tax credit has been massively defrauded, and we're just going like, yeah, you guys are kind of like seriously not catching. Like these are all the companies themselves saying we estimate this is how much we're being defrauded, and no one does anything. And so I don't like the method, the execution of it, of what he's doing. In the same sense for DACA, I don't like the because doing it by an executive order, I don't think is a good way, but I do think it needs to be done. And I think DACA, I still think what he did was good because Congress should have done it, but that's not his fault for going he did by executive action. It's Congress's fault for not fucking doing something. And so the same thing here that goes, I don't like that it's being done through a consultant who's just making recommendations. But I'm going, what do we do? When does it happen? Because we're like, I'm at like 15 years of reading GOA reports of all these massive fraud and no one doing anything.
Well, that's what I'm confused about. Like Trump's in power.
That's
a major crux of the issue that I have issue with is that they're just not doing anything.
No,
These
but
numbers
come on,
are being brought forth. This information is being brought forth. Yes, influence. We could talk about influence, consultants, blah, 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 etc. It's still at the head of the departments or the president to make the decision on what actually happens with the money, the cuts of the people that are... Exactly. But... It's not Elon Musk coming in and just doing the job. He's a fucking federal employee, as far as I'm concerned.
Wait, he's not a federal employee.
He's a special. Like I said, he's a consultant, basically.
Special.
Sure. But like, okay, I
understand
what you're saying about fraud.
That much can be said. That much can be said. He's under the purview of the president as a federal consultant.
Yeah, his consulting is being taken pretty seriously, though. Like, probably, like, we go, like, is anyone saying no to him?
Yeah, no.
No one says no to the consultant, no. Even a consultant at that point.
Right. Or is he just this fucking shadow?
I've been in that position where I've been a DoD contractor and I've come in and I've assessed systems, identified issues, and we get to fix the problem. People just agree with me. It's like, no. Like, this isn't my decision to make. Like, you're the fucking green suitor, sir. Like, Admiral, like, you have to fucking get on it.
I gotta check out, guys. I just want to say, like, thanks again for the debate. I really appreciated how good faith both of you were. Zetsui, like, again, like, no matter how, like, ridiculous I find your position, like, you're always coming at this with, like, hey, this is my source, this is why I think this, and, like, I'm not misrepresenting you, so I do really appreciate that, regardless of how much we disagree. But, yeah, thanks for the conversation. Saxios, good job. And Audacity and Saxios, good luck with your kids. I will talk to you guys later.
Appreciate
Try
it.
to do better in the future, man.
How old are your kids?
Information and actually having an argument.
Around Soyfill.
Wait, what?
You
What
take
was
care,
that?
buddy.
Well, I said I'll try to do better.
Oh, I thought you were telling me that. I was like, oh, damn, Jesus.
No. I'll try to do better with information I want to argue. No, like you came in with everything, and I'm just trying. I'll do better next time.
No, I don't. I mean, I'm not even telling you that. I just think you'll don't vote for Trump a third time, and you'll be my friend.
I need to approve.
Jesus Christ, are you for real?
Wait, who? What? Me?
Yeah, no, I know you're not.
Okay, bye, guys.